Course. Maybe they resemble people, but are in reality closer to beasts or animals, to borrow a concept. Dan Bilzerian and these people around him, I do believe they represent actually the perfect foil for me and for us as we trudge on.
So Nick Fuentes just exposed the complete infiltration of America First by federal assets and grifters like Dan Bilzerian. This isn't just movement drama. This is about preserving the real nationalist vision against people literally talking about killing Israelis on live streams. We're watching the separation of serious political operators from dangerous LARPers who'll destroy everything we've built.
And the reason being is, for the past several years, I would say since 2022, and maybe 2023, I and this movement and all of you and the Groypers, and you know this, we have all been characterized as Jew-obsessed, evil, satanic, hateful, caring only about Israel, only about our antipathy towards one group, to the exclusion of every other issue and every other priority. And I believe that was always a mischaracterization, and I have always disagreed with that forcefully. Nevertheless, this is how people have seen us. And I think the only reason they've seen us in that way is because we simply give the issue its due. If you want to understand power in this country and in the world, you will not be able to explain it without understanding the centrality of organized Jewry at the transnational global level. You cannot understand the GOP, the Democratic Party, American politics, geopolitics in the Middle East. Cannot understand it without seeing the central role that is played, again, by organized Jewry, and how all of that is animated by Jewish nationalism, Jewish supremacy, and the Jewish religion. So for years, because we were one of the only groups, but not the only, one of the only groups that would acknowledge this, people said that is what we are about, that is what we are, that's all we are, and that's the only issue that we care about, and it's the only lens through which we can see the issues, and our understanding of it is actually very base and simple, and we misunderstand it by characterizing Jews as monolithic. All of these things were said. But obviously, that was not the case, and now we actually have a perfect foil, I think, to show people what that really looks like. You think that Groypers, America First, Nick Fuentes are monomaniacally obsessed with Jews, have no positive vision, have no values, motivated only by hatred? Well, wait until you see the people that hate us. Wait until you see the people that for the past 5 days have been spreading lies, making things up, smearing me, attacking me, throwing everything at the kitchen sink. Why? Because in their mind, I and this show are not anti-Semitic enough, do not talk about Jews and Israel enough, have not done enough, have not said enough, have not made our position or our allegiances clear enough. Yes, there is a faction that believes that Nick Fuentes and the Groypers are not obsessed with Jews enough. And what is disturbing is there is clearly a distinct faction, I think largely on the internet, that is like this. And I do not want to be associated with that. I don't want to be lumped in with that. And I am glad that they have taken that step and separated themselves. And I think now people can see very clearly two different visions and two different ideologies and two different propositions for how all of this is going to go in the next few years. So we're going to talk all about that. If that sounds vague, I will spell it out very explicitly and very specifically tonight. We're going to get into it. We're going to be talking all about the drama, all about the mutiny, the coup, the civil war, all of it. And I do think it's important. I won't say it's drama. There's elements of drama in it, but let's be honest, it's something that needs to be addressed. It has needed to be addressed for a long time. And I also said this at the beginning of the year. We are living in a bubble, a glut of anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, Israel critical content on the internet. We all know it. We've all seen it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, which is that for 10 years and longer, actually, for decades, let's say, nobody was allowed to talk about Jews in Israel, much less in a critical way or a negative way or in an extreme way. All of a sudden, in the past several years, there were a couple of things that changed that phenomenon. And these developments were, one, social media was liberalized. And by liberalized, I mean it was opened up. It became more permissive. Elon Musk acquired Twitter. Meta relaxed their moderation policies on Instagram and Facebook. And so did Google with YouTube. So all of a sudden, there was a wide open lane, and this really began around 2023, 24, and 25, that people were really able to speak freely about these issues. That's number one. And number two, obviously, October 7th. October 7th happened, and the brutality of the Israelis and the transparency with which organized Jewry has manipulated these events, it's been unignorable and so blatant and so provocative and offensive to anybody with a conscience that everybody's become aware of this. So it is really these two things that have changed the dynamic. And what's happened in the past several years, it's the same thing that happened to all of us. Everybody who has been watching the show, everybody who has been in this space, we all know what it was like realizing that we were lied to. We call this being red-pilled. What does it mean to be red-pilled? It means to realize your reality was a lie. The way you thought the world is, the way you thought the world worked, was actually a fabrication. It was manufactured. It was a deception. And it's very disorienting to be red-pilled. And it's hard to know then what is true and what is false. And it's hard to know how much of what we were led to believe was true and what was false. It's very disorienting. And we know that for a lot of people, they struggle to handle this. And so they will follow a lot of red herrings. They'll go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and some people will believe every conspiracy theory, and some people will walk away from it. They'll embrace the blue pill. There's a lot of different ways it can go. And what's effectively happened in the past several years is that almost everybody has been red-pilled. And I think this has induced something like a mass psychosis, which is people are disoriented. I would say they're like psychic victims. And not everybody is super intelligent, and not everybody has a deep background knowledge of history and religion and politics, and people are really struggling to make sense of everything. And they're not going to get it right away, because these issues, when we talk about how power works, and we talk about Judaism and Jewish nationalism and Zionism and Israel, these are complex topics. These are enormous topics. They involve thousands of years of history and theology and eschatology and political science and all kinds of things. People are not always going to get it right. And I think what has effectively happened is that there has been so much curiosity and interest in the subject. It has created a giant class of influencers that are going to feed this appetite for conspiracy and intrigue and radicalism and things that are magical and far-fetched. And like I said, it has created a bubble-like effect where there are a lot of perverse incentives. The content that is being pumped out, as opposed to the way it used to be, it's not being created by scholars and intellectuals who embraced a taboo topic that was almost illegal, like a clandestine topic, but they did it because they cared that much, or they were autistic or super intelligent and they were hobbyists and they existed on forums. Now you have a lot of influencers that are merely filling a market demand. There's an appetite for conspiracy, so give them conspiracy. There's an appetite for anything anti-Jewish, give them everything anti-Jewish. There's an appetite for historical conspiracies, give them every historical conspiracy. And I think everybody can recognize the space has become polluted with slop. And whereas we used to have, maybe arguably at one point, there were some standards, now there are no standards. And whereas at one time we had the best ideas and we were the only ones that were right, now our side is embracing some of the worst ideas. And we're frequently debunked, and these terrible ideas are being ripped apart and torn down all the time. And our credibility is really taking a big hit. And I think it threatens to derail and disorganize all the progress that we've made. And so anyway, so we're going to get into these things. We're going to talk about it, but that's going to be our big story. It is worthwhile to discuss this because how we handle this is going to determine whether we actually achieve reform. At the end of the day, our goal is American sovereignty. Let's be very clear at the outset. What is it that we represent? We represent America first. And this implies the existence of America last. America first as a rallying cry means America is not being put first. We need to take power to put America first. Well, who stands in the way? Who are the usurpers and interlopers? It is all of these organized special interests, that chief among them is organized Jewry. Who are they putting first? The international Jewish community. Who are they putting first? Israel. How? In nearly every conceivable way. They're doing it with foreign aid to Israel, fighting Israel's war against Iran. They're doing it in education when they have the Department of Education coming into the Middle Eastern Studies Department at Harvard and telling them, you must teach a pro-Israel curriculum. It's at Homeland Security when they're looking at 50,000 visa holders to see if they ever criticized Israel on Twitter. These are just a few examples of how a Republican administration proclaiming America first and make America great again has actually been usurped and subverted by Jewish money, by organized Jewry to put their group first. So at the outset, this is our goal, and we seek to achieve this through politics. Now, do not misunderstand what I mean by politics. I'm not talking strictly about voting. Politics is all these other manners of trying to get at the levers of power in a society without going to war, without a violent uprising. And so that involves the private sector and the public sector. It involves NGOs and nonprofits and activist groups. Yes, it involves running candidates. It also involves the bureaucracy. It involves the universities, the technology sector. It involves all the different sectors of elite society where the decision-making power is concentrated. And so the question before us, ultimately, we want American sovereignty. We want Americans putting America first to get back in charge. How do we go about putting the right people in the right places to make this happen? That's really the question. And I think that it's very important how we talk about the Israel issue going forward, whether this political movement is actually going to gain any traction or have any success. So we're going to get into it. If we have time, we'll talk a little bit about the war in Iran, although I can already tell I don't think that we will, so we'll probably just save it for tomorrow. So we're going to get into all this. We're going to lay it out. Before we do, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Remember to check out our merch store at fuentes.store. We have our spring and summer collection. If you want to support the show, subscribe at americafirst.plus, $15 a month. You get access to the archive every episode of the show. $100 a month, you get access to the group chat with me. And I'm not giving you a lot with the drama the past 5 days, but the group chat has been eating. I've been giving everybody in the group chat all the inside baseball. I've been in there like every day and giving everybody what they want. And I like that because I can't always say everything in public because you know how that goes. But in private, I can really tell you what's up. So subscribe. That's americafirst.plus. Also, remember last week, our Super Chat platform got shut down by the Canadian media. Entropy, which we've used for years, they got shut down. They got debanked. Go figure. So you're not able to Super Chat on Entropy anymore. Going forward, if you want to send a Super Chat at the end of the show, it's af.plus/Super Chat. I also think if you just type in af.plus, it'll take you to the Super Chat whatever extension. So that's like for a phone. I don't know what you would say. AF.plus/super chat. That's how you can send in a super chat. Check us out. All right, so we're going to get into it. We're going to dive into what you've all been waiting for, what you've all wanted to hear. And obviously last week, there's been a lot of weird things that have been going on. And I want to say at the outset, I don't know what is going on. It could be a conspiracy. It could be coordinated. There's certainly aspects of coordination, which we will discuss. I don't know. It could all be a coincidence. And we could attribute it to malice or we can attribute it to foolishness. I don't know, but we're going to lay out the facts. And I think that really we're going to get into some of the drama and the he said, she said, and allegations. But the big picture and the headline to me has nothing to do with any of that. And I want to make that very explicit at the beginning. We're going to talk about who said what and when and who started it. We're going to do a little bit of that. And we're going to talk about some of these events, and we can speculate about how coordinated it is and what the goal is. But I want to make it clear that that is not really all that important. I will say at the very beginning, the most important thing, the headline out of all of this, and this is a question I want you to keep in mind, is what kind of movement do you want to be a part of? That's really the question. And you can take Dan Bilzerian. I actually think he is the perfect avatar of his movement. And you could take me. And you could look at these two side by side and what we've done and our lives and what we're about. And to me, that's really what matters. And I will make the case for myself at the very beginning. When I started this show, there was a need. There was a need for a movement that was more radical than Trump, that would live up to and fulfill his original vision of making America great again and putting America first. I saw Trump as a great leader in 2016, as a pioneer, somebody who was talking specifically about three big issues. He was talking about how our foreign policy was being hijacked by neocons and by Israel, even by AIPAC, which he explicitly mentioned in 2015 to bring us to war in Iraq and ultimately in Iran and elsewhere. And that's putting America last. And Americans are dying and we're spending money to fight other people's wars. But he also talked about immigration. And he said that our country is being invaded. We need to build a wall to create distinction and separation between America and the rest of the world. Because what has been happening is that we have been invaded by non-white immigrants, for the most part, who are fundamentally changing the character of the country. And that is not putting Native Americans first. America has a distinct character, heritage, identity. And when you bring in 70 million people in 30 years, all from the third world, they're destroying what it is to be an American. That's a critical pillar. And the last one is on trade. Where America derives its power and its strength, not just economically and militarily, but also morally, is its productivity. We're a factory, we're an engine, we're a workshop. That is what makes us a superpower. And what else has coincided with the wars and with the immigration is the deindustrialization of America. We've lost all the workshops, all the factories, all the industry. We don't make anything anymore. And when we don't make anything, we become idle. And when we become idle, we get on drugs and we kill ourselves. And women have all the jobs. And then women don't want to date the men because they make all the money. And all the communities die because the only jobs are in hospitals and schools and government administration. This is what's happening between the two coasts. And so these were the three big policy areas, but there's also dimensions above that too. It is that America has lost its way as a Christian country. It's lost its way as a European country. These are identity-based issues. And so whereas Trump maybe had the right idea on those three big policy areas, arguably the two deficits are that he was not talking about the meaningful ways in which we're losing our sense of self as flesh and blood people, but also losing our sense of self spiritually and morally as a Christian nation. And we're becoming something like a hedonistic, degenerate, pluralistic nation that has no values, has no morals. We've embraced pornography and gambling and all kinds of other vices. I mean, you can see them. And so the America First movement, when I started, it arose from this need for something more progressive than Trumpism. Call it America First, call it right-wing nationalism. We want to bring America back. And we're embracing a positive vision where we're looking at young people, and we want them to get excited about a future where they're going to be able to get a job, start a family, where there's some sense of a moral compass or fabric in the country. There's also a social fabric because we have things in common with each other. Like, yeah, we look similar. We all speak English. We all come from a similar place or a similar background. And what's more, we are going to be taken care of by our own government. We're actually going to have our civil rights, freedom of speech. We're also going to be able to access the political system, even if we've criticized Israel. This is the positive vision that we set out to achieve, and we're trying to achieve that through politics, primarily by infiltrating and hijacking the Republican Party. This has really been my mode. This has been my MO for 10 years. For as long as I've been doing this show, I have been saying the left is irredeemable, diabolical, evil. Our only hope is that we are the successors to the Trump movement. Trump destroyed the old GOP, created a vacuum, and we need to fill it. How? We need the young men watching the show that know what is going on, that know the score. We need them to enthusiastically show up and get involved and become the future leadership of the opposition party. You don't have to like the GOP, I don't. You don't have to like movement conservatism, I don't either. But the infrastructure and the institutions, what they represent on the right wing is the organized opposition to the left. All of that infrastructure, all these institutions, all that stuff, it is there for the taking. And if young, energetic, radical people show up and want it more, in a generation, we will control the opposition. We can use it as a vehicle to take on the left in the way that Trump did. Trump ran a hostile takeover of the GOP, and as the leader of the party, he waged a challenge against the left, not as a conservative, but as a nationalist. This is what he did in 2016. The only problem is he was not sophisticated enough. He was not an ideologue. He did not have a cadre of personnel. There were all sorts of flaws. Maybe he just didn't want it bad enough. But there was an opportunity to have a hostile takeover of the GOP, of all that infrastructure, get it behind him, and use that as a challenge against the left, take over the country, and win the battle. I still believe that is our best bet. Obviously, the left and the Democrats, we're not infiltrating that. Their ideology is corrupted to the core. I think that a third-party option, our system is not built for that. It's just too expensive, too difficult, hard to achieve. I have always said that our MO is going to be getting in the GOP, whether in elected office or climbing up the bureaucracy as staffers, interns, in the conservative media space, wherever, in the private sector side. But we need to see leadership roles across the board. And it will take time. It will take a generation or two. But in 10, 20 years, we're going to be all of the leadership. We are going to be what is left. And maybe there will be a time to catch a falling knife when a calamity befalls the country, an opportunity presents itself. It's all in the timing. And then we're able to take advantage and move in. Something like that seems to be the way to go. Okay, that's my general idea. And that's a broad stroke overview, but that's sort of the idea. On the other side, we see a movement, and like I said, this results from this glut and bubble of Israel critical content. It seems that there is no ideology, there is no idea, no grand plan, no values, no policy prescription, other than it's the Jews. We don't like Jews, and we don't like Israel. And that's it. And we saw this at a conference that took place last week. They called it America First United. They might as well have called it America First without Nick Fuentes. And let me just give you a survey of some of the people that were there. They brought in an Hispanic Democrat who got on the stage and said that we need to apologize and give reparations for colonialism and slavery. And then they brought up a woman who wore a t-shirt that said, "Docs Ice." And then they brought up a Muslim in a hijab who gave some sort of Muslim prayer at the beginning. And then they brought up a candidate, Dan Bilzerian, who has said in the past, "We need to go to war with Israel to exterminate Israel. I want to kill Israelis," is what Dan Bilzerian has said. And you look at this collection of people, and you know, you've seen it on Twitter and elsewhere. There are no commonalities. There's nothing positive, propositionally or in terms of sentiment. There's no vision, no plan, nothing other than we don't like Jews. We don't like Israel. We hate Israel. And these seem to be the two visions. Now, obviously, like I said, America first, the only way we're going to achieve that is to confront Jewish power. There's no other way to go there because that is the primary obstacle. You're not going to put America first without confronting the institutional force that is putting themselves first. And that is organized Jewry. And it does come from the exclusionary supremacist Jewish religion. It does come from their fifth column ideology of Jewish nationalism. And as a transnational entity, that clearly poses a problem. But of course, it goes well above and beyond, we don't like them. Fuck them. We don't like them. We're going to get them. We don't like Israel. It goes far above and beyond that. We actually have a vision of what we want the country to be, what's going to hold the country together, who we are. We want to talk about other things as well. There are other problems happening in the country too. And it's also not motivated by hatred, spite, animosity. It's motivated by a genuine love, actually, for our country, for our God, for our families. And it is only because of that love that we need to confront the evil that's hurting us. And so anyway, to me, that's the big picture. But I want to go back to the beginning of the story, and I want to talk about a little bit about what happened last week. So last week, they hold this conference, which I just mentioned. They called it America First United. It's organized by a woman named Amy Dangerfield, who, as I understand, is not even a resident in the United States of America. She's an Australian foreign national who's working on a green card. She organized this conference, and it was a complete and total disaster. They called it America First United. And like I said, they tried to bring in all of these different people that don't like Israel, and it didn't quite work. And I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this since the beginning of the year. It's never going to work. Why? Because the left and the right are fundamentally at odds. Muslims, and I would say American nationalists, in some ways are fundamentally at odds. Now, some types of those people might incidentally be a part of the coalition, but what must have primacy is American nationalism. We're not sharing it with the left. We're not sharing it with foreigners and Muslims. American nationalism is the primary faction, primary ideology. And if Muslims or left-wing people are okay with being a part of that coalition as a subordinate, then that is okay. But the idea that you're bringing them together with any degree of parity, like there's any equivalency, it's never going to work because there is a deep conflict of values. And in any case, that was the conceit. They're bringing all these people together in one room. We all don't like Israel. It was a disaster. It doesn't look good. The staging was bad. The audio was terrible. Nobody showed up. They had something like 50 guests. 400 people watched it live. Now, I didn't go to the event. And I wasn't even in the same state. I didn't endorse it. I had nothing to do with it. The event was so bad that everybody that already doesn't like me said that it was my event. Because they saw something that was such an optical disaster, they just saw it as ammunition that would make me look bad. They said it's a terrible conference. That was Nick Fuentes' secret conference. He's secretly supporting it, and that just goes to show it's a total failure. Now, I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it was sort of an embarrassing sideshow. I tried to distance myself from it, and why would I not? I had nothing to do with it. Then there was a New York Times article that came out about the event, and this is where I started to get a little bit suspicious. So they throw this event, and like I said, it's not a star-studded lineup. 50 people showed up, 400 people watched the live stream. I didn't even know about it until a couple of weeks ago. And yet, there was a New York Times journalist that attended the event and then wrote an article about it in the New York Times, which appeared on the front page a few days.
Look at this absurd coalition. Hispanic Democrats demanding reparations, Muslims in hijabs, and women wearing Doc's ice shirts at an America First conference. These people have zero ideological coherence beyond hatred of Jews. Meanwhile, the real movement has actual policy positions, electoral strategy, and a vision for Christian nationalism that goes far beyond mindless anti-Semitism.
Days later. And the article, the headline of the article was, "Can there be an America First movement without Nick Fuentes?" So what's the big idea there? They put together this conference. We're bringing in Muslims and left-wing people and these candidates and all these others. It's really a big nothing. Nobody goes, nobody watches it. Nobody really major even shows up in person. As I understand, Dan Bilzerian was their big guest. He could not attend in person because he had a paintball tournament. I'm not making that up. So, bigger priorities. And yet there was a New York Times journalist there covering it. And then he does a big piece about it on the front page a few days later. And like I said, the headline is America First without Nick Fuentes. This is what it said. I'm going to read this article to you. It says, quote, "Billed as the first bipartisan event uniting America First candidates and influencers opposed to AIPAC, endless wars, and the Epstein cover-up, the gathering last Saturday afternoon was an effort to expand a movement closely associated with Nick Fuentes, a white nationalist influencer and outspoken anti-Semite. The event was sparsely attended. Many of the around 50 guests were dressed in their Sunday best suits and loafers. Ms. Dangerfield, the organizer, said, "We felt like we had to do something." She is a recent convert to the America First program, but it has become her political home. She's eager to see it coalesce into a coherent force. She said, quote, "We were sick of staying online and just complaining about things, saying, 'I wish things were different,'" said Ms. Dangerfield, who is in the process of obtaining citizenship. "We have to get people elected that are for Americans, that want to put Americans in America first." More pressing concerns, however, seem to be weighing on the younger segment in attendance. As one conference goer in his early 30s put it to me, "or a loss." Another, sizing up the crowd, said, "Welcome to Chud Hell." The concerns echoed the dynamics that govern most social functions. Was it uncool to be here? Were the guests also deeply uncool? As footage of the conference appeared online throughout the day, critics on social media began to ridicule the event. They mocked its tiny audience, its low production value, and a speaker list that lacked star power. Viewers of the event stream on the platform Rumble observed that only about 500 people had tuned in. As Ms. Dangerfield scanned her social media mentions, she suggested that a successful version of America First might not be one helmed by Mr. Fuentes. Instead, she offered it might be best embodied by figures like James Fishback or even Dan Bilzerian. She said, "I love Nick, I respect Nick, but there is a difference between podcasting and doing something." So was this the real conceit of the conference? It seems that that was the plan, which is to put on a big event, call it America First, and then insinuate that, unlike me, they're doing something. They're unhappy with me. They're unhappy with the movement because to them, all I'm doing is online. I'm podcasting. I'm complaining. They need to take it from my hands to do something. Do what? Terrible conferences with audio problems and run candidates that lose primaries. That's what we need to do. Says who? A foreign national from Australia who used to work for Adam Sosnick. What was she known for before? Kissing women on a live stream, being some kind of cam girl, and working for Adam Sosnick at Valuetainment. She's an Australian national, not even a citizen. She's now going to helm America First. She can't even vote. She says, "I never wanted to attack Nick Fuentes. It's not about going after him." And yet they've got a New York Times journalist there with the headline, "Is this America First without Nick?" She says to the press, she says to the New York Times, yes, it is. The America First is going to work without Nick because we're doing something. He's a podcaster. All he does is complain. What also emerges from the event is an interview between Jake Shields and some guy. This was filmed at the event, and the guy says, "We need real macho alpha male Christians to lead the movement. Nick Fuentes has done his part, but his time is over. We need to step it up." Jake Shields says, yeah, he can't be the leader. He doesn't have the leadership qualities. Later in the week, Tucker Carlson goes on his show, and he says in an interview with Tyler Oliveira that Nick Fuentes is all about himself. And one day there's going to be a movement of people that are actually going to do something, and they want to build a movement, and it's going to be more radical than him. So I'm starting to see a pattern. You do a conference where people go and say, we need America first without him. You have a New York Times journalist putting a piece based on this event that is a total nothing, saying it's America first without Nick Fuentes. You do an interview, and one of the speakers and one of the guests say, yeah, it's time for him to step aside. He can't be the leader. Tucker Carlson says on his show, yeah, he's all about himself. He's not building a movement. We need somebody else. And then the coup de grace comes last Thursday when Dan Bilzerian puts on Twitter, and it's a full frontal attack. It's like Pearl Harbor. Nick Fuentes is a Fed. First he says Democrats are going to kill us. Then he backs Amy Acton. He didn't support Casey Push. All this guy does is cause drama. And then there was a full court attack, full spectrum attack from about a handful of other influencers, one of which said he was called in advance and told to attack me. I'm talking, of course, about the YouTuber Eric Orwell, longtime enemy. He put out a 26-minute video after Dan Bilzerian put out the tweet and said he had the courage to make his statement after Dan called him on the phone and told him it was go time. Lucas Gage said the same thing. So apparently there was some kind of effort behind the scenes calling everybody saying, we're going to move against this guy tonight. This is the big night. We're making our move. It's like the Ides of March. It's like Julius Caesar. All right, Orville. All right. Coal burner comedian, all right, retard alert, punch drunk idiot, all right, Eric Orwell, trailer park nationalism, it's go time, we're all coming at. And for the past 5 days, I've been subject to full spectrum attack by every enemy, every adversary in the extended America First universe, leveling every accusation that we've all heard before. It started with, you're not doing anything in real life. Then it was, you're attacking Casey Push. Then it was, you endorsed a Democrat. Then it was, you're a Fed. Now it's just, you're queer. We don't like you. You're anti-family. You sold the quarters. Now it's just everything. Everyone saying everything in some kind of coordinated attack to what? Once and for all defeat me? Once and for all make me go away? It doesn't work like that. It's never worked like that. So this is a little bit of what has been going on. And like I said, I am not going to get too into the weeds about the he said, she said, and accusations and things like that. But this is what has been going on for the past week. And by the way, this has followed a series of attacks against my clips on Instagram and my super chats on the show. So far in the past 2 months, there was a major hit piece by The Atlantic and by Jonathan Greenblatt at the ADL. They're specifically targeting my clips from my show on Instagram and Facebook, trying to get them banned quite successfully. Simultaneously, there was a massive 4,000-word hit piece in the Washington Post attacking my super chats, and an associated attack on my super chat platform by the state-sponsored Canadian Broadcasting Company that actually led to my super chat platform being shut down. All of this has transpired in the past 3 or 4 weeks. Attacks on the clips, which is how I've become so notorious and infamous in the past year. Attacks on the super chats, which is how I fund this operation. And then ultimately, attacks on my reputation from the inside. Not from the outside, where the outside attacks could be characterized as exactly that, where you could say this is coming from MAGA, this is coming from the left, it's coming from Mark Levin, or it's coming from Laura Loomer. Now the attacks are coming from the inside. Well, I want to talk specifically about some of what has been said, and specifically with regard to Dan Bilzerian, what exactly happened here. So I don't know why Dan Bilzerian suddenly says I'm a Fed. I've known him for 2 years now. We talk regularly. I've been to his house multiple times. And I would say that we sort of agree on the broad strokes of the issue. We're both against Trump. We're both against the war in Iran. We're both against AIPAC. We both understand that it's not just Zionists, it's Jewish nationalism, Jewish supremacy, it's Jewishness, which is making these people put America last. Like, we're sort of on the same page in many ways, and yet we've had a falling out that has been in slow motion for the past year, roughly. And the first time I met Dan Bilzerian, I said this on Twitter, this was a little bit troubling. The first time I met him, I flew out to Las Vegas. I went to his house. He was very gracious as a host. I go to his house, and the first thing that happens, and this is a little strange, is they make me sign an NDA. I got to give him my driver's license. I got to take a picture of my face. I got to sign a thing. Never experienced that before. And I've met Ye, and I've met Trump, and I've met a lot of famous people. I've never had that happen before. Cameras all over the house, recording audio and video. Never seen that before. So I go, whatever. I go into the house. We talk. He has us put our phones away. He says, we're talking about serious stuff. We're talking about the Jews, Israel. It's me, him, Jake Shields, one other guy. He says, let's put our phones in the kitchen over here. We go outside in the patio. Jake Shields and the other guy walk ahead, and this is where I think Jake is confused. And they go ahead into the bouncy pit or the trampoline room or what, whatever. It's like it's so gauche. I mean, talk about N-word rich. They go ahead into the trampoline room. Dan Bilzerian and I walk outside. He tells me, so how easy do you think it would be, or how hard do you think it would be to kill some of these Israelis? Now, me, I've been in this for a long time. I know what kind of question that is. It's obviously a loaded question. I deflected. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I think that's a terrible idea. I'm not in favor of killing anybody. Now, at the time, I thought, this is very suspicious. This is very not good. At the same time, I thought, this is a very extreme guy. He just got red-pilled. Maybe he just doesn't know the gravity of what he's saying, whatever. That was kind of the first red flag. Okay, whatever. We went into the trampoline room. There's bongs everywhere. We're talking about Hitler and whatever. It's fine. Well, then we started to have some hiccups. About a year ago, I did a debate with Dinesh D'Souza. We did a debate about the war in Iran. This was Operation Rising Lion and Midnight Hammer when the United States struck Iran's nuclear sites. So I did a debate with Dinesh D'Souza. It was universally acclaimed. Steve Bannon loved it. They wanted to play it on War Room. Everybody loved it. Everybody watched the debate and said it was a masterclass. I clearly won. Every poll on Twitter said I won 90-10, 80-20. Total defeat. Well, then I get Dan Bilzerian's feedback, which was, you should have just blamed everything on Israel. I said, well, Dan, I did point out that Israel is orchestrating the war and they control the tempo and they're the driving force behind it. I said, however, we do have to talk about Iran's strategy of nuclear hedging. It is a legitimate argument to say that the United States must enforce non-proliferation of WMDs. I said, we need to make people understand that the only reason Iran wants to acquire a WMD is because Israel started the arms race by acquiring a nuke first. He said, yeah, well, I understand why you want to take it easy on him, but you should have just blamed Israel. You should have just said it's Israel. They're the only ones at fault, just Jews and Israel. I said, okay. Fast forward a little bit, later in the year, I do a big interview with Tucker Carlson. Tucker challenges me about blood guilt and how I'm anti-Semitic and accusing Jews of being responsible for all the problems. I say, Tucker, we cannot divorce neoconservatives and the wars in the Middle East and AIPAC and Israel from Judaism. Israel's the Jewish state. Neocons are Jewish leftists. I said, it's inextricably connected, Jewish nationalism and all the things you talk about. I do an interview with Jack Neal. I do another interview after that. I get another call from Dan Bilzerian. He said, you didn't talk about Jews on any of your interviews. I said, well, Dan, I said, I did. I said, I did talk about it with Jack. I did talk about it with Tucker. I did talk about it with these other people. It's in there. He said, yeah, but you didn't talk about it enough. You should have spent the whole interview talking about that. I said, Dan, if you want to persuade people, you can't have them thinking that you're the Jew guy. I said, you have to present as well-rounded. I said, and people want a little bit of diversity. You know, they want different topics. They want to see that you're a well-rounded person. You could talk about other things. I said, and when you're going on someone else's platform, you can't always control the questions they're going to ask, the topics they want to cover, and you got to be sensitive. Some people don't want to be censored. Some people don't want you to bring it on their platform and get them banned. I said, so, you know, I'm trying to be a little bit tactful. He goes, oh, okay. You know, well, you need to talk about Jews more, blah, blah. And then we were off to the races after this. Why did you say you like Stalin? Hitler went to war with Stalin to save the Christians from the Jewish communists. Why are you not saying Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel? He's obviously killed by Israel. Why are you supporting ICE? ICE is Jewish. Why are you? And it became then a loop of paranoia and suspicion and purity spiraling, which is somehow because I don't dedicate all my time to talking about Jews, I don't blame Jews for literally everything or absolutely everything, or I don't talk about it in the most extreme or violent ways, somehow I'm a disruptor, I'm not a true anti-Semite, or so. This is a little bit of how it's gone. And finally, it culminated in this argument over Casey Push. Casey Push is running in the primary against Vivek Ramaswamy. He got destroyed. He lost 82 to 18%. And ever since his loss in this Ohio governor's race, all of his personnel have come out on Twitter and said he's a terrible candidate. He's a raging rageaholic, real anger problems. He turned down opportunities from the White House. He didn't want to do events. He was micromanaging everything. This is multiple field directors, multiple personnel from the campaign saying he's terrible. And just to tell you, I heard all these things early on. I heard all of this in February. I called up my political director in February that manages these things, and I said, we need to get behind Casey Push. He said, no, it's a no-go. He said, we're talking to their team. They don't have the signatures. They don't know if they're going to be on the ballot. There's all these problems. I said, well, then let's not even bother. I said, if we want to defeat Vivek Ramaswamy, the only way to go, we're not going to overcome Trump's endorsement, Vance's endorsement. Vivek has a 100-to-1 money advantage. I said, we're not going to beat him in the primary. We're just going to need to provide that 1 to 5% in the general. You can't swing the primary because to win the primary, you need 60% of Republicans or 51% of Republicans to revolt in a race where you're outspent and you don't have any of the endorsements and you don't even have a good candidate, 100-to-1. Whereas in the general, the Democrats are maybe 50-50 against the Republican. We just need to give them a little push over the edge. So I said, we'll just focus on the general. Well, this was my idea going into the Ohio primary. Yeah, you know, Casey Push isn't going to win. That's okay. We're focused on the general. Dan Bilzerian texts me, why didn't you endorse Casey Push? I said, well, he's going to lose. He lost 80-20. I said, what does that do for any of us to just lose? I said, if I'm associated with that, all the liberal media are going to say the Groypers tried to get into politics and they lost. They tried to translate it into electoral success. It didn't happen. I said, so, you know, I couldn't have saved them even if I tried. If I tried, I would have gotten blamed for the loss. I said, so I recused myself. He comes out and says, this guy didn't endorse Casey Push. Clearly, he's acting like a Fed. Days later, Dan Bilzerian says, I don't give an F about an Ohio governor's race. Why would I care? That doesn't matter to me. These are some of the conversations that are happening. And this is why I say overall, this really paints a picture for you of really two different kinds of movements here. If you've been watching my show for a long time, you know that we think deeply about geostrategy in the Middle East. We think deeply about why Israel does what it does, why America does what it does, why Iran does what it does. And we talk about the dynamics between states, and we talk about the strategic angle, about the missiles, the nukes, the regional proxies, the drones, the Strait. We think deeply and talk about these things. And the same goes for party politics. We actually want to make a difference. And so we are looking at races and ways that we can actually win, like where we can focus our energy and resources, where we can make a difference and actually get something tangible, actually get a tangible victory or benefit. And we talk about this all the time. We talk about the different factions. We talk about Little Tech and J.D. Vance and his alliance with Tucker Carlson and their schism with Marco Rubio and his backing in Florida with Susie Wiles and Mike Waltz and all the other Florida creatures and Ballard. We talk about all these things. And what has been happening for the past 2 years is basically a guerrilla who doesn't know anything about politics or government and doesn't even want to know, isn't even interested in learning, hitting his head against the wall saying, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. What's the answer? It's the Jews. How are we going to take over the GOP? It's the Jews. How are we going to get America first? It's the Jews. What are your policies, Mr. Congressman? Mr. Representative, what are your policies? It's the Jews. Well, can you name a policy? We're going to help people. What are you going to do about Israel? Go to war with them. These are the two different visions. Now, some people call me a liar. They said that, when I said that Dan Bilzerian is talking to me about killing Israelis, they said I made that up. Jake Shields said, oh, you made that up. He never said that. He said it in public at least twice. On Sneako's stream earlier in April, this is from a news source. It says, during a stream with Sneako, who has also spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, Dan Bilzerian said he supports exterminating Israel and that he would sign up tomorrow and go fucking put boots on the ground and go fucking...
This is textbook Fed behavior, asking about killing people, pushing for more extreme rhetoric, then attacking anyone who shows strategic restraint. Dan's demanding he talk only about Jews on every platform shows he either doesn't understand persuasion or he's deliberately trying to get the movement banned. Real leaders protect their people from entrapment.
Kill Israelis. Yeah, that sounds like a typical Dan Bilzerian sentence. I would fucking put fucking boots on the ground and fucking kill fucking... Okay? He says, give me a rifle and send me the fuck over there. I truly believe the majority of that country is evil. Do you? We didn't know. No one knew. I truly believe Israel's evil. You did. No one knew that. No, it's not like that's the only thing you talk about or the only thing you can talk about. It's like a dog learning a trick. It's like a dog that knows one trick. He goes from show to show, from Alex Jones to Piers Morgan to Patrick Bet-David, and he's so impressed with himself, giving the same little monologue, giving the same little soliloquy. So I think it's just fucking Jews, and I think Auschwitz is fake, and I think they did 9/11, and yeah, we've all heard that before. You've said it before, we've heard it before, been saying it for 2 years. Everyone's been saying it for 2 years, and we've all heard that. And now we want to know the specifics here. Little specificity, little nuance. Now we want to know, what's the big plan? What's the big idea? Where are we going with this? You want to take it from the internet into the real world? Okay, how? You want to take over the government? How? There was another instance where he said the same thing. This coal burner comedian who's his biggest supporter said, she's quoting somebody. She says, Dan Bilzerian wants to kill Israelis. He never said that. Dan Bilzerian replies, I actually do want to. Fuck him. Fuck him. She replies, update, I've been informed he actually did say that. So now we're even. Randy Fine wants to kill Muslims and Dan wants to kill satanic ones. Okay. Now look, we don't need to get into a lot of granular detail to understand why none of this is serious. None of this is going to work. I don't want to be associated with this. I don't know any decent person that would be. I don't know any decent person that would want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. You want to say that Israel controls our foreign policy? You're right. You want to say that we shouldn't be in a war with Iran right now? You're right. You want to say AIPAC should be registered under FARA? You're right. You want to say that Trump is controlled by Netanyahu and Mark Levin? You're right. You want to get on TV and say, I want to exterminate Israel. I want to fucking go to war with Israel. Give me a gun. I'm going to go and kill all of them. What decent person wants to be a part of that? Sorry, what serious person, what intelligent person, who among us that is actually serious about doing everything that it takes to actually succeed in politics wants to be anywhere near that? That is a disaster. That is a liability. That is and by the way, I'm just going to say what we're all thinking. How long before some nut job goes out there and does exactly that and says, Dan Bilzerian told me to? God forbid. And I don't want that to happen because I don't like to see people die and I don't want to see everybody get shut down. But that's not a game. It's not funny. It's not cool. It doesn't make you a tough guy, Mr. 5'9", roid head. Nobody is impressed with that. Nobody is impressed with you. You think because you take steroids and you pay girls to pose with you in your daddy's house, paid for by your daddy's company, and you go on an interview and you say, give me a fucking gun, I'm gonna fucking kill people. You think anybody is impressed with that little act? You think anybody finds that heroic, courageous, brave? You want to get a gun and kill people? We're waiting. I would never encourage that. It's a tough guy shtick. And it has no place in a serious political movement. None of that has any place in a serious political movement. All that is a giant fucking liability. You talk like that, you're gonna get some false flag and they're writing your name on the rifle in white Sharpie. That's what's gonna happen next. You talk like that, they're gonna take away free speech. They're trying to. What do you think they're talking about at every World Jewish Congress? What do you think they're talking about at every one of these summits? What do you think the ADL is talking about? The ADL is going on TV this week and saying Trump is doing a great job at rooting out anti-Semitism. What do you think happens when a social media celebrity with 16 million followers goes on a live stream with a young Gen Z streamer and says, we're going to fucking kill Israelis? What do you think happens after that? You are begging them to break all of our backs and bring censorship down on us. You are begging the telecom companies to take away the websites. You're begging Homeland Security to knock on everybody's door that has ever talked to you. So you know what, tough guy? You know what, gorilla? You did us a huge favor. Now nobody can ever say that we have anything to do with each other because I don't want to be associated with that. You're going around talking about killing Ben Shapiro, killing Israelis, give me a gun. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with the slut running the 50-person conference. Good luck with your campaign against Randy Fine. And by the way, he's running against Randy Fine in Florida's 6th district. You live in Las Vegas. You live in Las Vegas. You're running in Eastern Florida. That's for openers. Hey, everybody, do you want to know the average age of a Republican primary voter in the district in which Dan Bilzerian wants to win the Republican primary? It's 57.2 years old. Donald Trump carried that district by 30 points last year. So you think that a social media alpha guru is going to go into that district saying, go to war with Israel, fuck Trump. He's going to win the 57-year-old Republican primary voters, and he's going to do it with no money. He's going to do it in 3 months, and he's going to do it from the fun house with the trampoline and the paintball field in Las Vegas. How's that going to happen? Oh, and by the way, he's also going to do it by alienating the #1 Israel-critical live streamer in the country as well, in addition to Dave Smith, in addition to Asmund Gold, and in addition to everybody else, because that's doing something, right? We're over here complaining that's doing something. Well, riddle me this. How does losing primaries do anything for anybody? Casey Push losing 82-18, what does that do other than waste everybody's time and money? Losing against Randy Fine, what does that do other than make us look like losers and waste everybody's time and money? It does nothing. And it is highly, highly overrated. Symbolic actions, gestures by people that don't even know what they're doing. I had to explain to Dan what a governor or a congressman even does. He talked about running for governor, running for president, eventually settled on Congress. Maybe that was Jake Shields' idea. That was the think tank. They wrote it out in crayon. They wrote it out in magic marker. They said, president, senator, congressman. Which one? You know, the think tank. The think tank. They were gathered there in the war room, hitting the bong, hitting the vapes, bouncing on the trampoline. Jake Shields was bouncing on the trampoline. Dan Bilzerian was hitting the bong. Leonida was over there. They're tapping their heads with their pencil. Should we run for president? No. We should run for senator, then for president. That's the good idea. That's the bestest idea. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed I was ever associated with these people. I have an ecumenical mindset. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I say, look, the more the merrier. You know, everybody's going to contribute in their own way. But I almost got, dude, Jake Shields almost gave me brain damage because, see, he drives a Tesla. He drives a Tesla. And when you drive a Tesla, when you hit the gas and take your foot off, it stops. Try driving a Tesla with someone with CTE. Try driving in a Tesla with someone with brain damage. You're getting whiplash the entire time. Cars starting and stopping, starting and stopping. I'm like, are you trying to take me out? Are you trying to kill me right now? Popcorn ear, roid head 5'9". I think that's the duo, right? That's the duo that's going to fight back, take America back. Yeah, I don't think so. We're good. I'm good. You want to play that game? You know what? Good luck. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm done explaining myself. I'm done. I'm done explaining myself to numbnuts, to Tweedledee and Tweedledum over text messages and phone calls. Here's why we need to think about Vance. Here's why we need to think about 28. I'm done explaining myself. I'm done begging. I'm done trying to make everybody see the big picture. You know what? If you are some low IQ casual, you're eating up that slop, fuck you. We don't need you. We don't. And you want to know why? I'm not a populist. I'm not a Democrat. I don't believe that we're going to take the country back when the masses wake up in some explosion, some groundswell of popular support, and take the country with the pitchforks and torches, with the pimp vape salesmen and kickboxers leading the charge. No, I don't believe in that. Because the masses are fickle, easily dissuaded, disorganized, lack expertise. They're never going to take us to the promised land. They're easily manipulated, easily tricked, as you can see. So I'm not begging. I'm not arguing. I don't need to anymore. This is a year of refinement. This is a year where the movement gets smaller and we weed out the people that we don't need. The last thing we need or want is people talking about killing and exterminating Israelis. I don't want anything to do with that. That's evil. I want to exterminate Israel. Yeah, I'm not with that. That's evil. I don't think Palestine should be exterminated. I don't think Israel should. I don't think anybody should be exterminated. I don't want to pick up a gun and kill anybody. I'm a Christian. What I want is young people to engage in the political process peacefully and lawfully and in a way that is good for themselves and their development and their well-being and their family, to take our sovereignty back. That is what I want. You want to talk about fuck a group of people, pick up a gun and kill them, exterminate them? I want nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. I don't want to be anywhere near that. That's not going to work. That's not my conscience. That's not who I am. You think that's cool? You think that's edgy? You just turned 16? You're low IQ? Fuck you. You want to go and be a part of that? Knock yourself out. We don't want you. This is a year of refinement. This is Gideon's army. I don't need 3 million. I need 300. I only need the best and brightest. I only need the people that actually get it, people that care enough to do the research and the homework, people that care enough to listen, people that care enough that they're actually even going to be here in a year, 2 years, 5 years. Not people that got into this because they're in a lot of legal problems with their dad's company. Not people that got into this because they got punched in the face 6 million times. Not people that got into this because they just have nowhere else to go and that's all they can contribute. So I want nothing to do with any of these people. They're hurting us more than they're helping us, and they have been for a long time. So you want low IQ anti-Semitism, you want a retard right, you want schizo conspiracy, exterminate Israelis, left-right fusion, you go and do that. And to you I say good luck. My mission this year remains, and by the way, I'm not going away. What are you going to do? Call me a gay Mexican fed again? Oh no. Oh my, what are we going to do? I've never heard that one before. We're not going away. I'm doing this show every night, most nights, 5 nights a week sometimes. I'm doing this show every night for years, and my explicit mission is defeat Vivek Ramaswamy in Ohio. Democrats win the midterms in 26. And we make sure that J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio lose in 2028. That is my mission. That is all I care about at this point in time. That is my overriding priority. I'm not trying to win a dick measuring contest with the roid head. I'm not trying to win a social media argument with somebody that got, their face caved in the UFC. I'm not interested in these intramural sideshow debates with idiots. What I am interested in is taking over the GOP. And by the way, we're going to do it with or without him. We did before, we will now. I'm not looking for knuckleheads. I am looking for the best and brightest, the geniuses. Yeah, I'm looking for the refined people. I'm not looking for the alpha muscular Christians that are going to take the country back. No, I'm looking for the actually intelligent, sophisticated, refined people that are deadly serious about this, that are going to give their lives to this, not in some ecstatic martyrdom, not in some violent sacrifice, but they're going to give their lives to it with the monotony every single day, bit by bit, when we're winning, when we're losing, climbing the ladder in the bureaucracy and everywhere else, choosing at all possible times the most advantageous thing so that we can eventually become the kingmakers.
This is why the Groyper strategy works, infiltrating institutions, building real political capital, playing the long game. While these losers waste time on doomed symbolic campaigns, we're actually positioning for 2028. Casey Pushaw lost 82-18 because gestures don't win elections. Smart money backs winners, not martyrdom complexes that accomplish nothing.
The decision makers in politics, that's what I'm interested in. I am not interested in being whatever. We're interested in creating that shadow empire, that invisible empire of Groypers. And to the extent we're engaging in electoral politics, I'm interested in derailing the biggest threat to America first, which is coming from the Peter Thiel network. That is the biggest threat, actually. The biggest threat, and I said this last week, is that we will be squelched and suffocated, deprived of oxygen, throttled in the crib by Vance, by Peter Thiel, by Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent, David Sachs, this coalition of pro-Russia, pro-Israel, little tech, PayPal mafia people. They are fighting against us for succession of the MAGA movement. That is the only fight that matters right now. And that's actually just a little bit too complicated for people with an 85 IQ to understand, and that's okay. You hold down the fort. You keep posting fuck Israel every day. You got that covered, okay? Here's your crayons. Here's your magic markers. Here's your placemat. You can go and tweet fuck Israel in everybody's replies every day forever. You're holding down the fort on that one. We over here will worry about the hostile takeover of the GOP. We will worry about defeating Vivek Ramaswamy, making that a referendum on the GOP, and ultimately turning the tide in 2028. That's my mission. That's my sole focus. So that's a little bit about where we are in the movement right now. Like I said, I'm defiant. No, there's no love lost there. I mean, you guys are idiots. You don't know what you're doing at all. You're gonna lose, and it doesn't make any sense. And I told Dan, him, when you're ready to get serious, then you call me. When you're ready to stop posting the same nonsense every day, trying to impress everybody with your little memorized speech, because you don't know anything else other than that. When you're serious, when you want to think about politics, when you want to think politically, then you give me a call. At this point, though, I'm not answering. We don't need that. It's just a load of not. And I think nobody is missing that right now. You know, we need all these earnest losers, that say, well, at least I'm doing something. You're losing. You're doing what? At least I'm doing something. You're losing. You're losing and you're making us look bad. Stop. That was the message of their conference. The message of their conference that nobody went to, that nobody watched, and it's all losers, was at least we're doing something. Doing what? Making us look like assholes? Doing what? Losing? Stop what you're doing. At least we're doing something. We can't just complain on Twitter. Well, you know what? Social media is one of the most powerful tools known to mankind. And that's working, actually. And it's working to recruit people and get people hired in government and raise money and do what needs to be done. At least we're doing something. Doing what? Fucking up your audio, making us look like idiots, humiliating us, and then losing elections, wasting our time and money. Stop what you're doing. At least we're doing something. Please stop. There is no path to victory that runs through going out knowing you're going to lose. I want to go out to win. If I run for office, I'm going to want to win. If I support somebody for office, I want them to win. If I do a conference, I want it to look good and be attended by a lot of people and watched by a lot of people online. At least we're doing something. Like you get a participation trophy. This is the legacy of Oliver Anthony. All of these losers trying their best. And ultimately, they don't care enough. If you care, you put in the effort. If you really care, you do the work. You don't just tell you, well, that's all I can do. Well, that's all the time we have. That's all the money we have. If you really care, you meet the moment. You rise to the occasion. You analyze the problem, you dig deep, and you do the impossible to overcome the odds. That is what is required. That is how we have to think. That is how we have to act. There are no participation medals. Hey, not bad for only being in the race for 5 months. Not bad for only raising $100,000. Not bad. You lost by 60 points. Not bad. You shouldn't have went out at all. You should have had some strategy where we actually get something. That's what I just love. So, and ultimately, that is what separates this movement from everybody else. And let me just tell you, and this is the part you're really not going to like, that is what separates the people that are actually running our country from the people that aren't. And maybe you need to hear that. There is some aspect of learned helplessness that comes with the Jewish question. It's just true. And that's a tough pill to swallow. And you might not like to hear that, but it's true. The difference between Joe Lonsdale, Alex Karp, Sean McGuire, all these people that are the architects of our future and our lives, all of these people that have increased their power, these are all people that have taken ownership. And you can sit there and say, well, that's not fair. Well, they had this and they had that and but. Doesn't fucking matter. That's life. That's reality. Reality's a fact. Get with it. We have to be better. Don't put it on them, put it on yourself. Are you the smartest? If you can't tell me the difference between the House and the Senate, you can't complain that you don't run the country because you don't know what you're talking about. They're on ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, how many died in the Holocaust? We deserve to lose. We deserve to be defeated. You're acting like an animal. You're acting like a goy. You want to take over the country, start acting like it. You want to run the country, start acting like it. Ask more of yourself. Demand more from yourself. You want to change the world, change yourself. That happens inside. You don't get to impact the planet or the country or anything if you can't make a change inside and ask more of yourself. Be the smartest you can be. Be the most competitive. Take ownership of the result. And if you do all that and then you lose, at least you can say you gave it your all. But there is no, hey, not bad for a day late and a dollar short. Hey, don't be that way. So, no, we will continue to demand the best. This is a filter. You didn't cut it. You wanted low IQ conspiracies. You wanted a purity spiral. You wanted me and my audience to get behind you and cheerlead you. Why? Because you gave that speech. You said the right words. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, and it's not going to work. So I'm going to continue to bet on my MO. I'm going to continue to bet on myself and the Groypers and America first and a positive vision for the future that is Christian and American and pro-white and America first. And you can take your movement that is based on alpha male posturing, tough guy talk about killing and hating people, negativity, always anti, always complaining, spiraling about the same issue, and we can go our separate ways. Bye. You're not cut out for politics. Go back to faking being a poker player. Okay? That's what I'll tell you. So, and that's the way it has to be. It's been a long time coming. That's about it. That's about all I have to say. But this has been a long time coming, as you know. We have had these, it's been uncomfortable for a little while because obviously there's been this divergence and it's been obvious. When ICE killed those protesters, they're out there saying ICE works with Israel. It's like, oh, what are we doing? Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel. Bro, Charlie Kirk worked for Israel. Since when? They say he was going to be the next coming of Hitler. And stop. Just stop. Stop all that. And now they just have to make stuff up. They say I endorsed Randy Fine. I never endorsed Randy Fine. I talked to Aaron Baker today. And we'll see what we can do there. But now they just have to resort to lying. And the usual bag of tricks. Now they're going to try to knock me off. We don't care. We don't care. People have made up their minds. And if you're with me, you're with me. And if you're not, you're not. I don't need your permission. I don't need your approval. We will continue to change reality, and you will watch and wonder how and why. And that's the way it's going to be. But we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. That's the message. That's the show. That's your drama for the night. And yeah, hopefully we don't have to get back into it. But there it is. I think I've addressed everything. And if there's anything I missed, you can see in the super chats. Some people are saying, how do we just bump up to 48,000? That's weird. I thought we were like 30,000. Somebody just, I don't know how that happened. Whatever. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what we got in the super chats. What was that? Did somebody, what is it called when they kick the stream, someone streaming, they kick it over to you? Is that what happened? I don't know. Anyway, all right. Yeah, maybe somebody rated it. I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, well, now I don't want to finish. Now the viewership just bumped up. Should I just keep going? Nah, I said what I had to say. I said what I had to say. All right, let's take a look at the super chats. It's bots, yeah. I think it is. Someone just botted it. Because it was at 30K, then it just like jumped up. So, yeah, I don't have anything to do with that. All right.
Gumble2Gumble sent $20. I love my midnight. Midget. Mexican Machiavelli. Iran was a trap from the jump. Iran knows we are fractured and the left has sided with them against Trump. Retreat from Minneapolis and attacked Iran. Skull emoji.
Midnight Mexican Machiavelli. Thanks. Midget Mexican. Dude, you know what's so funny? So I'm texting Dan Bilzerian. He posted that thing on Twitter. I texted him. I'm like, really, bro? We get into this big fight. And, you know, whenever me and him used to fight, he'd always turn into like, I fucked hundreds of girls. You're a virgin. I have money. You're broke, blah, blah, blah. Which is like, okay. But so he's doing that again. He's saying, you know, you're a pussy, blah, blah, blah. I texted him. I said, Dan, I said, we're both manlets. We don't need to go there. I said, you and I are both manlets. I said, you know, everybody thinks you're a roid head that's compensating. I said, we don't need to turn it into a pissing contest. It's just politics. We don't need to go there. He goes, I'm not short. I'm 5'9". 5'9" is average. You're short. I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. I'm like, bro, it's crazy that worked. It's like, dude, that was the easy. I texted him. I go, bro, should I post a screenshot? I said, I shouldn't, because it's like, whatever. But I said, bro, I said, we're both manlets. We're both getting mogged by everybody. I said, you're a roided out guy who's compensating to everybody. No one thinks you're tough, you know? I'm like, so we don't need to go there. It's just political. And he literally said, I'm not even exaggerating. He goes, I'm 5'9". That's average height. Google it. You're short. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I'm like surprised that worked. Because you think they would have patched that? Dude, this is broken. You would have thought they would have patched that one. It's like you're 45 years old. You're a roided out midget. You pay girls to be with you. You would have thought that he would have heard that so many times. It just would have, you know, washed right off, you know, would have just, but no, it didn't. And that kind of tells you all you need to know, I think, doesn't it? We're bickering about politics. You're a virgin. You don't have money, blah, blah, blah. I've done everything. I'm like, bro, let's just not. You're short. At the end of the day, we're two short guys. You could get wider. We're still down here, okay? Randy Fine mogs the fuck out of you. And it's embarrassing. It's whatever. He goes, I'm average height. Google it. 5'9" is average. I'm like, now you're sounding like me. Now you're sounding like me. But I've accepted it. I tell people I'm short. I'm 5'9". I'm a short guy. Is what it is. You know, Chads will do what they will. Manlets will suffer what they must. He's not over it yet. There's like a lot of funny banter like that. These people are just retarded. Like, at the end of the day, I don't say that to be shitty even, but it's like, you're just dumb. You're dumb. Jake is dumb. Everyone knows that. Sorry. You know you're dumb. Like, did you not know? Is this breaking news? Like, you're dumb. And they could say anything they want. And some of it might be true. They could say anything, and maybe you believe it and maybe you don't, but I'm smart. And you're dumb. And to succeed in politics, you need to be smart. So, you know, it's like, if I'm in the NBA, I need to be good at basketball, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm Mexican. It doesn't matter if I'm short. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. All these other attributes don't matter. It's like, what matters in the NBA, are you good at basketball? That's all that matters. Can you dribble? Can you shoot the ball? In politics, you need to be smart. You're not. You're dumb. So you should do something else. You're not smart. You shouldn't be in politics. Do something else. Go hit people. Go play poker. Pretend to be good at poker. Go pretend to live in a mansion. Go pretend to run a vaping company. Go pretend to be rich. You know, do whatever it is that you do. But this is for smart people. You're not smart. He told me Hitler fought Russia to save the Christians from the Jewish communists. I'm like, dude, Hitler wanted to like invade Russia to colonize it with superior Aryans. He's like, well, it's hard to know what's real and what's fake. I said, dude, it's in Mein Kampf. Like, I don't know what to do. That was literally, he's like, so why are you talking about Stalin? I'm like, dude, Stalin and Hitler were both brutal. He's like, no. He's like, no. Hitler invaded Russia to stop the Holodomor being inflicted on Christians by Jews. I'm like, no, no, he wanted to, it was called living space. He wanted Russia to be a frontier for Aryans, like America is a frontier. And he thought Slavs were inferior. He wanted to enslave and colonize them. He goes, well, it's hard to know what's real and what's not. I said, dude, it's in his book. He wrote the book on it. So, this is what you expect me to work with? And I wanted to keep all that. Look, I didn't care. I'm like, whatever. He's dumb. It's okay. It's fine. But then you want to say, oh, me no understand. He's the Fed. Me not get what you're doing. It's like, well, listen, bro, do we need to break out the flashcards? How do you want to do this now? I just don't get it. Why is he backing a Democrat? Hey, man, where are we going to start? How do you want to start this? Let's sound it out together. It's crazy. Anyway.
Notorious sent $20. Italian Irish from NYC. Muslims buying up homes in Staten Island and living 10 ppl to a home. Any future for whites in NY?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're willing to do, but I like New York. But it's no question they're, it's majority non-white and they're being invaded. So, I mean, it just depends on what kind of future you want.
An Negro percent $20. When are we going to get an Omegle segment?
So what is that? Somebody said I was top 10 on there. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is.
Booger Nick sent $20.
I'm too old
Sebastian
now.
Rui ignited a major Twitter war against you just now and it's scary. They just don't let up.
I don't know who that is. So
Dixie Groy percent $20. That Aaron Baker candidate in FL tweeted defending you against Dan.
I talked to him today, so maybe we can help him out a little bit.
Tony Sierra.
I think that Dan should drop out of the race and endorse one of the other people that's running, because you can't win. There's no way you're going to win. You don't live in the district. You don't even live in the state. You don't have any money, unless he's going to self-fund. He said he's going to put $1 million into his campaign. I'd like to see that. And he's just already alienated himself. It's a plus 30 Trump district. It's all old people. You're not going to win on a platform of fuck Trump and fuck Israel. It just doesn't make sense. So I think he should just drop out and give money to Aaron Baker or there's this Italian guy. I haven't had enough time to look at both of them. I like Aaron. I talked to him. I don't know everything about him yet. But he should just drop out and endorse one of those people. Tony Sierra sent $20. What do you think of Kyle Kulinski? The blonde-headed joke claims you're falling apart. Face with bags under eyes emoji. Well, he's right. I am. It's Saturn's return. Somebody told me it's not even my Saturn's return, so my life is a lie. My friend Basil told me it's your Saturn's return, because he's like the astrologer. This is astrological talk. I'm like, maybe that's why it's so difficult lately. But then he told me, actually, I got it wrong. It's not, your Saturn doesn't return until later. I'm like, my life is a lie. I thought that's what it was. No, but it's true. It's true, but I'm picking up the pieces. I'm a messy, strong groiper, and I'm just trying to hold it together, He's not wrong. He senses Italian American sent $20. Thanks. Diversity stole my bike, sent $667. Hey, thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. And 667W. 67, thank you for the huge super chat. 07's in the chat. Chief sent $100. Did you hear that Israel killed a Catholic priest with multiple tank shells? Father Pierre Al-Rahi on March 9th. Peace shells. But who's buying? I did not hear about that. But thank you for the big super chat. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, they do it all. I think they go out of their way to do that. They go out of their way to shoot at churches and kill Christians because they don't like us. And they don't like the Catholic Church. Lyons Township alumni sent $50. The movement has become massive. If you do not organize, it may move on without you. We want to follow you, not Dan Bilzerian. Are you hilarious. A precursor Paul Atreides figure or the real deal Leto too? Well, part of leadership is you must defer. So you don't get to confidence check me. See, that's the difference. People think that following a leader means I'm in it when I feel like it and I'm out when I don't. Leadership means I've been here, and that doesn't mean I was here first. It's mine. No, it means I've seen all these things play out. The Trump administration, primary campaigns, infiltrate. I've seen it all. I've watched it for 10 years, longer. I've seen it all play out. I've seen enough of it play out. And I've got a lot of experience doing a lot of different things. And so part of following a leader in a movement is you actually have to defer to their judgment. And if it fails, then so be it. But you don't get to confidence check and say, I don't know, I think we need a course correction. It don't work like that. I'm the captain of the ship. And this is something I learned a long time ago. You know, people that are gonna head out when it gets heated, people that are gonna head out when they're feeling froggy, those are not people you want alongside you. I need people that have absolute confidence in my ability. If you don't, bye. I'm not going to get confidence checked by some numbnuts. Hey, if you don't do this, it's going to move on. What am I going to do? Chase all these knuckleheads running primary campaigns that are going to lose? No, sorry. We don't operate on their timeline. I don't operate on the timeline of some YouTuber who decides to run in a primary and raises no money. That's not my timeline. You know, we have to... My principles are that we need to focus our resources, focus them. We have to be selective, choose our battles very carefully, and direct our resources in a concentrated way. That's the only way we can win, because you need to understand something. We don't have a lot of resources. The other side has infinite money. When AIPAC wants to win a primary, you know what they do? They helicopter in $10 fucking million. And they do that in multiple races. Do we have $100 million to spend every 2 years? We're lucky if we got $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. So there's this principle called defeating in detail. If we pick the battle, if we pick the battlefield, pick the opponent, and if we concentrate and focus our resources in a place where it makes a difference, this is how we're going to win. This is how we make impact. Now, this idea, like, let's just run a bunch of primary people and, I don't know, maybe one of them's going to win. You know, that it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. So that's not my people's clamoring for let's just do something. I'm not going to just do anything whenever, wherever. We are going to continue to be the conservative, strategic, tactical movement with a long-term vision. You want to go and run into a brick wall. You want to do the Death Star trench run. You want to do the suicide mission and waste all your time and money. That's your prerogative. But I move slowly and deliberately and intentionally. And when I go out, I want to go out and win. I don't want to, let's just throw together a conference. Who cares if it works or not? Let's just run for office. Who cares if we lose? I care. I want to win. I want to do a good job. So, anyway. So don't be, this confidence checking me. It's going to move on without you. Good luck. You go and move right on. You go and do a primary. See how that goes for you, bud.
Care Zero S sent $50. Bilzerian actually looked at Master Blaster after seeing a few Hitler edits last year and said, I'm going to be Master. We're trying to fill the role of Blaster, not Master people.
I don't know that reference, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Anti-Semitism Awareness sent $20. I know I'm just a name on a screen, but can you all pray for me? My grandfather is about to pass soon and it's hitting me hard.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. We will pray for you. That's tough. So God bless you and your grandfather. Hope you're doing all right. This was on Friday, so hope you're still hanging in there.
Nordic Grow I sent $30. 75 hours of community service comes out to be 270,000 seconds.
Oh, there's that number again.
Common Void sent $25. Have you eaten today? Frown everyone is saying Nick is a fed, but no is asking is Nick fed?
No, I lost my appetite. No, I barely ate anything today. I just don't have an appetite these days. I'm not hungry,
Kay sent $20. Ask not what Nick Fuentes can do for you.
I'm not
Ask
even
what you can do for
hungry.
Nick Fuentes.
So true.
Holster Grow I sent $20.
So true.
Every time they try to bring you down, they only make you stronger. The
True.
motion is unstoppable. KRDNJF.
It's the only thing that motivates me. Honest to God, like the only thing that really even gets me going is when I get challenged.
Rapist Hitler sent $100. Dan, Amy, Tucker, all of these people I see are fake, not real, and sent by someone or something else. All putting up some fake-based front with the end goal of one day trying to pull the rug out from under you. Every round of attacks only makes me more confident that you are the only real one.
It's weird, isn't it? I appreciate the big super chat. I feel like I'm the only one that this happens to. I must be the problem. Sometimes I think that. And sometimes I don't. But have you ever noticed that my life, it's like a comic book. You just have this like extended universe of villains that like every now and again, a new villain emerges to try to ruin my day and upset my apple cart. And every once in a while, they all combine and get together once and for all to destroy me. Who else does this happen to? I've never seen anything like it. It doesn't happen to Tucker. It doesn't happen to Alex Jones. It doesn't happen to any of these people. Just me. It's just like, I don't know, the planets align, there's a blood moon, and then it's like all of these extended universe antagonists from the previous seasons of the show, from season 3, from season 5, they like all combine into like a super team to like once and for all, we're gonna take them out. It's like, leave me alone. Why are you always attacking me? It's literally like a TV show. My life is like a serial. It's like a TV show. It's crazy. I am the chosen one, it seems. I'm like Anakin. I'm like Luke. They got to protect me on Tatooine. But, right? Am I the only one that notices this? Like, where else does this happen? Where it's like, I've never seen anything like it. And people have enemies and people don't get along with each other. People got their ops and everything. But it's like me, like I said, there's like this whole cast of characters. And then every once in a while, something happens and they all get together and they're like, all right, this is it. And it's just funny. You flatter me. It's amusing to me. You flatter me. All of this for me. All this to take me down. I'm actually like Palpatine. Not to be cringe. Not to be cringe. But yeah. Anyway. It does make me laugh a little bit when they are. And it is kind of like, it's a little frustrating because I'm like, here we go again. Here we go. It's this, Laurel Loomer clinking the glasses. Oh, gay fed. Blah, blah, blah. You know, so it's a little annoying. But then sometimes I have to just sit back and laugh and be like, this is all for me. You know, sometimes I have to like sit back with the crown and just be like, this is all, they're all trying to get me. I'm the one they want. It's all for me. Bring it on. Bring it on. They all, they all assemble outside the gates, outside the castle walls here in Berwyn. Crossbow and everything. And it's like, you think about all the villains. You got John Lyons tried to kill me. That bitch down the street just suing me. Arvel in the trailer park. Dan Bilzerian, Jake Shields. Who else? Who are some of the other? Tucker Carlson talking trash. Laurel Loomer, Mark Levin calling me Little Adolf. It's just like one after the other. But that's the only way they could do it. All of you combined, you don't even come close. I'm not even breaking a sweat. I could do this all day. So anyway, no, but I appreciate the big super chat. Dude, why is the chat, half of the chat is fuck Sneeko. I literally look at the live chat, no matter what, and half of it is fuck Sneeko, the other half, dude, I love Sneeko. Stop saying that. I love Sneeko. It's not funny. That's my boy, dude. Anyway. Yeah, that's true. It's such a complicated life. It's a movie, but I wish it was. No, I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. But yeah, dude, my life is like a movie. It's just a wrong kind of movie, but that's okay. My life is like an action movie. My life is like it's like one of those action movies where there's just like one guy where it's like, you're just like, how's he going to get out of this one? And then he does. It's like one of those movies. Like Jason Bourne, James Bond, Jack Bauer, Mission Impossible. It's just like there's a guy, he's got it. Like he's the guy. And he's hanging out of an airplane or like there's a bomb in the park or whatever, and the guy, you're just like, how's he going to get out of this one? Anyway. So.
China all the time sent $20. The great refinement. If you can't zoom out and see where Nick differs from all of these fucking retards, then focus on sport.
Raise your right hand. Raise your right. It's time. I'm calling on you once again. Once again, the king of the movement. Yes, the emperor has returned from Rome. Once again, the king of the movement is calling on you to mobilize. The king is mobilizing the army. Raise your right hand. Take the pledge. Mom, I'm pledging. That's what it has to be. Once again, we have to rally the troops, mobilize the army. We're doing it
Unite
again.
sent $50. Use your head, Nick. Israel just allocated $720 million to its Hasbara. Don't you think now would be a good time for the anti-Israel crowd to come together instead of attacking each other? Reunite with Dan.
That's what we did, and then he attacked me. So, unfortunately, that's his decision.
Crooked Flush sent $100. Dan Bills is a running joke in the poker community. To this day he claims he made his vast fortune through poker. A few years ago he was at his billionaire friend Bill Perkins' house where Perkins was live streaming online poker. Dan sat down and took over for a few hands and barely knew how to play.
Really? Thanks for the big super chat. I wouldn't know. I don't play poker, so I don't know. He's everything about him is fake. He's not really rich. He's not really, buff. Well, he is, but he's a roid user and a little guy. You know what he is. He's just like an Instagram simulacrum. Like, he's not real.
Frank 412 sent $25. With the Ohio governor race, the Ohio first hats for Christine could be a hit. Big fan, Nick. Thank you for everything. Light blue heart emoji.
That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that.
Schmo210 sent $50.
That'd be a nice tribute.
Schmo210 sent $50. Why are all these people saying this war in Iran is about China instead of the Hebes? Seems like cope. Tell me how you really feel about that shit, man. Need ammo. Take care, brother.
It's fake. I mean, listen, when you say that China, there is an angle where it is about energy dominance. Truly, there is an angle. When you look at Iran, when you look at Venezuela, that's one way we could talk about it. But that's a rationalization. Does it have some explanatory power? Sure. Here's the problem. It ignores that the real containment against China, it's all about the first island chain. That's really what matters. It's not an energy problem. Because how do we contain China? We contain them in the first island chain. We don't need to contain the oil in Venezuela and the oil in Iran and the energy elsewhere. First of all, China runs on coal and renewables. That's first of all. So yes, China gets oil from Iran. They get oil from Venezuela. But look at their energy mix. It's mostly coal and renewables. We're different. We run on a lot of oil. They don't. So that's one aspect of it. But here's the other. If we wanted to blockade China, we blockade them in the first island chain, which is Japan, Taiwan, Philippines. That we're trying to constrict them around that first line of islands. And so it's all about reinforcing, first and foremost, Taiwan. That arguably is the weakest link in the chain. That's the one that's close to China. China debatably has a claim to it. That's the one they have designs on. And if they take over Taiwan, well, then they are able to have ports that are against the Pacific Ocean. They're able to get their submarines out, their carriers out. They break the chain. So there's a few things going on. One, we're prioritizing that. That's really the line of defense against China, not energy. And then the other aspect of it is, how do we defend the island chain? It's going to be with interceptors, THAAD systems, Patriot missile batteries. These are all things we're expending in Iran. So the China hawks don't want us to be in Iran. There are China hawks, and they want us to bring the fight to China. And what they are united in is they want us out of Ukraine, out of Iran. They want us reinforcing the island chain. They want us reinforcing Taiwan, because there's only a finite supply of THAAD systems and Patriot missile batteries and the interceptors that they shoot, and we're wasting all of them. So the China hawks, like Tucker's a China hawk. I don't know if you remember this. Nobody remembers this. But when Tucker was on Fox News, he was always railing against China, always. Because he and Peter Thiel and, for that matter, Elbridge Colby in the Pentagon, the top policymaker in the Pentagon right now, they're all prioritizers. And what that means is they want to prioritize combating China over fighting Russia or fighting Israel's wars in the Middle East. And so the reason Tucker is so gung-ho about our other allies in the Middle East, the Arabs, is because that is how we are going to hand off the security architecture to these other countries, to our partners. And they will have collective security, and they will be able to balance against Iran, let's say, or manage counterterrorism and nonproliferation while we go and fight in Asia. So that's the big idea there. So, no, I mean, it's just wrong. If the China hawks want us out of Iran, who are the China hawks? Tucker, Thiel, Elbridge Colby. Elbridge Colby, it's a lie. They said he's no longer a China hawk. He is. So he wrote the new national security strategy for the Pentagon. And the way there, it was either I think it was the NDS and the NSS. He wrote both of these white papers, and they both talk about hemispheric defense, prioritizing the Caribbean and Latin America. But he did that reluctantly. He's still a China hawk. I've heard this firsthand. He's still a China hawk. Thiel is a China hawk. So is Tucker. They always have been. And that's why they don't want to fight in Iran or Ukraine for that matter. And they're all very pro-Russia as well. Very pro-Russia. It's very suspicious. So anyway, that would be your ammo.
Saint Saxon sent $20. Thanks for insulating the movement from retards like Dan.
You're welcome. You know what? It's a blessing. It's a blessing in
Celtic Roy
disguise.
sent $25. Danny B is on his bounce pad and rock climbing while plotting his next move. Be safe, young nigga.
It's just like a joke. He couldn't make it to the conference because he had a paintball tournament. Like, come on, man. You're like a glorified Nepo baby, bro. You're just like a glorified trust fund kid. That's really all that is. Like, you're not taking it seriously. You don't care about the outcome. You're really just prioritizing your fun and this ego problem, So, yeah, I can't make it to the mutiny. I can't make it to the assassination of Caesar. I have a paintball tournament. Can we reschedule the mutiny? Can we reschedule the coup? I have a paintball tournament that day. Oh, that day's no good either. I have a rock climbing event. It's like, okay, bro.
USMC Growiper sent $20. Look into Don's military background. Got exposed by an ex-Marine vet a few years ago. Fake-ass Navy SEAL. Full-on con artist.
He's like Trump, dude. He's like Trump. Everything about him is a lie. He's exactly the same as Trump. Everything about his story is fake.
Jet sent $35. World War G.
World War G, I like that.
The Blue Dreamer 95
Groiper
sent
War.
$20. With Joel in conflict and Nerf faith, do you think it means one is right and one is wrong, so one is condemned? Or do you think with God being right and just, both are accepted to heaven by faith? And he heard you got invited to Afu.
Well, I mean, you're just asking about Protestants in general, and Catholics believe there's no salvation outside the church. He's not in the church. I happen to believe, though, I tend to hope for a general salvation. I don't know there's one. Don't presuppose or presume there is one. But I like Balthazar, even though he's a little heretical. But I tend to hope that hell is empty. Don't know that. We can't presume that it is, but I like to think that it is. We hope that it is. We hope that God has a plan to save everybody. But then again, hell is real, and maybe people are in it.
Carla sent $20. Is the movement just for influencing political voting? Saving Christians in African Americania is an op for a proxy war against China. The Blue Dreamer 95 sent $20.
Whoops.
The Blue Dreamer 95 sent $20. Under attack because they don't like being shown a way out.
Yeah.
6 or 7 mil sent $100.
True.
I was watching the documentary that someone made of the first Groiper War on YouTube, and it really seems like it's going to happen again. I feel like it's going to filter out the grifters and your loyal followers, but at the end of it, you're going to be totally vindicated.
It's not really the same, but I appreciate the big super chat. I mean, it's, that was a very specific set of circumstances, but to me, a Groiper War is just when we get out there. And the question is, we just have to get out there in the right way. They keep talking about, you're not doing enough. It's like, look, we've done all these things. And by the way, you know what's funny? Now the criticism is, you're not backing candidates. You're not doing events. You're not doing anything. We did all that. In 2022, we did events. We backed candidates. And you know what the critics said then? They said, why are you doing events? You're just going to get everybody doxxed. Terrible idea. They said, why are you backing candidates? You're just going to David Duke them. You're just going to hurt them by your poisonous association. You're radioactive. It's like, okay, so that's when you realize they're just going to say anything no matter what. When we're doing something, it's a big problem. When we're not doing that thing, it's also a big problem. Now, the reason that we're not doing events like we used to is I legitimately just don't see what is to be gained from them at this point in time. Because if we raise up the flag and say, hey, everybody come to the Groiper Summit, everyone, there's a risk that people get doxxed. and there's the safety risk. And so I'm not going to say we're never going to do an event. We might do one this year, but I don't want to do a ton of events. I don't want to do chapters because they're looking for us. My strategy is we are trying to infiltrate, and that's a good thing. You know, it's decentralized. I'm encouraging people to take what they learn, hide it, and then gain power slowly. And this is threatening to them because they can't filter those people out. They can't identify them. They can't read their minds. And so groypers are in their walls and they don't know it. Now, if we put up the flag and say, hey, come to the groyper chapter meeting. Hey, come to your monthly groyper meeting. It's like one guy gets exposed and then everybody gets exposed. And so we have to be very careful about that. That's one. And two, when it comes to candidates, again, I really question how viable that is. I am willing to support anybody if they have a chance of winning. And even then, in what form do we help? Does it help for me to endorse them? It might. It also might really hurt. Because it's the same thing with Dan. Like, you're going to run saying, I'm going to kill Israelis. Like, you can't run if you talk like that. It's not going to work. So, Dan told me, this is just an illustrative conversation. It's so funny. He told me, you haven't sacrificed shit. I was going to sell my company for $800 million. I said, well, you're a fucking retard. I said, because do you think we need $800 million or you to tweet fuck Israel every day? I said, which do you think would be better for the movement, you fucking idiot? I said, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, if that were true, then you're the world's biggest idiot. He goes, I sacrificed everything. You haven't sacrificed anything. He goes, I was going to sell my company for $800 million. I said, then you're retarded. Because what did you allegedly give up on $800 million for? To tweet fuck Israel under everybody's replies? Because that's all you're doing. To go into somebody's replies and say, it's the fucking Jews, you cuck. It's fucking Israel, damn it. It's like, I'll take the 800 million, please. The 800 million would have been way better. You couldn't have taken the 800 million. And it's like, but bro, you're lying. That's not even true. Your company's under investigation by the FBI. So that's not even true. But even if it were, like, either you're lying, like everything, or it's true and you're an idiot, which you are. But that's a perfect example. I'm going to light $1 billion on fire so that I could run for Congress from Las Vegas and lose. And tweet to an increasingly smaller audience. It's crazy. I said, you lit $800 million on fire, you're an idiot. I said, tell me I'm wrong. I'll literally pull it up. I mean, because that's literally what I said, and it was so funny, because I'm just like, that's insane. Let me scroll up. He said, I tanked an $800 million sale in a company I own half of. I said, why would you do that? That is retarded. $800 million war chest or losing a congressional race and being shadow banned on Twitter? Let's see. He said, because I wanted to expose the JQ. I said, you could have done more with $800 million than blabbing on Twitter, retard. Do you disagree? He said, I've already done everything in life. I fucked thousands of hot girls, been famous for 15 years, made hundreds of millions. You talk to guys online like an OnlyFans bitch. I choose freedom of speech over money. I said, you blew it. Money buys power. You chose to run your mouth instead of being strategic. He said, you've never had money. I said, well, my daddy wasn't a scammer. So it's like that. But okay, that's just like a little insight. I'm like, dude, 400 million or running your mouth on Twitter? He goes, I fucked thousands of girls. I'm like, okay, cool. You should have taken the 400 million. You don't have any money. Okay, like, and neither do you now. So I guess that makes two of us. Like, you see what I have to, okay, do you see what I have to deal with? I'm under like impossible. It is impossible. Now, okay, do you envy me now? Who wants to be the movement leader? Please. Take my job, for example. No, please take it. Like, okay, who wants to be the movement leader? Anybody want to sign up to babysit these fucking idiots? We got to pat everybody on the head. Hey, Jake. Cool drawing. Did you draw the USS Liberty? Wow. I love the detail. I'm going to put this one on the fridge. Now, Dan, do you think we need $400 million or another idiot tweeting fuck Israel? What do you think? Use your words. What do you think? No, not quite what I'm looking for. Like, this is actually my job. You think my job is like fucking bitches and being the boss, telling people what to do? No, this is my job. My job is like babysitting idiots. And it always has been. So, anyway. Yeah. You don't want, everybody thinks they want this. You don't. I promise you. I promise you. It's the least enviable position in the world. I promise. You know, my wagey friends, they go, we have to work for a living. I'm like, don't even play with me. Don't even play with me. You don't do a show 5 days a week. It's like, you don't have to deal with what I have to deal with. You get to go and have fun. You get to go and have fun over there. You have fun over there. I don't. I live in hell. So anyway, my house is under attack. My house is under attack. Like it's, he will not divide us. Niggas are coming to my Ring camera like it's he will not divide us. People are, you know, today's the day. We're going to march on Nick Fuentes' compound. Like, anyway, it's crazy. Okay, now do you see? Now do you get it? He goes, I tanked an $800 million sale. I'm like, why? Why did you do that? You think that makes you, do you think that's smart? We're supposed to congratulate you? You know how many races $400 million would support? Gee, do we want an anti-Semitic billionaire or another broke influencer? Well, guys, good news. He chose freedom of speech over money. Yes! Yes! Another one. We did it. Epic. Patrick, we saved Bikini Bottom. Dude, Dan, we saved America. We lit all our money on fire and we have no engagement anymore. Oh, yeah. Good job, bro. Good job. Good job. Nice.
We think Wagey sent 100.
Isn't even true. That's not even true, by the way. That's the only thing that makes it feel better.
We think Wagey sent $100. Groiper love dear leader.
Thank you for the big super chat, dear. This is why I'm the dear leader, bro. But I appreciate it.
Emerald
Thank you.
sent $50. You're a once-in-a-generational figure for the people. The online grifters plus spooks are embarrassing, unintelligent. Nobody wants to be associated with them. Thank you for everything you are doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jersey Groiper sent $25. Nicolo, wrap it up. We're Dems now.
That's funny. That's a deep pull. Nicolo, wrap it up. The way that just like triggers PTSD, it's crazy. That's insane.
Eat My Ask sent $20. Looks like you're starting to gain some weight back.
You're just saying that to hurt my feelings. I'm not. Look at me. It's just because I'm growing my facial hair out. It's just the beard. If I shave the beard, I'll look the same.
Kelly Groipa sent $25. I am loyal only to Nicholas J. Fuentes.
Thanks. That's what I expect.
Non-kosher foods. Sent $20. Pariah the doll says here youtube.com/live/hi4g2puis C equals 4h0v3 and T equals 519. She sounded like a girl naturally at 17.
Okay. Thank you for telling me.
You spells. Sent $20. Like she wanted. No Jewish doctor's tranny pill needed.
Oh.
Also, Goyim literally just need to do difficult shit to get smart.
Not really sure what the point is.
Green Jelly sent $100. You're the best. You deserve unlimited power.
I do. Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. That's so true, right? Unlimited power? No, but I appreciate it.
Heart of the Wolf sent $20. Couple weeks before Dan attacked you, he called Dave Smith a subversive, lying Jew after Dave denied ducking a convoy with him.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so it's everybody else, right?
A kind baby bell gesture sent $20. All the podcasters that are undermining your vote blue stance need to be buried. The ops are getting out of hand.
True.
KR and D4NJF.
I will send the army. We will never forget. We are Groipers. We don't forget. But yeah, no. Raise your right hand. We're going in, okay?
The Dark Goy sent $20.
Going in
so if America First is
politically.
for the American people, why does one single person get to decide who's real and who's not?
Because I'm the boss.
Anti-Semitism awareness sent $20.
That's why.
Dan B couldn't run a hemp company in a country where weed is getting popular, but these retards think he can be a senator.
He's going to be the
One
president.
Sleep 23 cent $25. Is the door open for another appearance on Red Scare? That was an underrated collab.
Maybe.
You had good chemistry.
I don't know. I'll hit him up. I'm going to be, I might be in town soon. Maybe I'll hit him up. They understand me. They understand a sensitive yearner like me. Not everybody does. It's okay. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody likes that. But the Red Scare girls, they love that shit. And they are loving that shit. Okay, the Groybettes, Red Scare, they get it. That's okay. Some people like that. So yeah, maybe I will, maybe I'll go on Red Scare. I don't know. I'm not going to invite myself back, but I'd be open to it. They got fired. Dasha got fired from her job, so I don't know if they want to do that. Maybe we'll just hang out. Maybe we'll just spill the tea and hang out and, and go off and ball out.
Fuentes fan 654 cent $24. Thank you for alerting the world to world Jewry. Take my money.
Oh, you're welcome.
10,000 B cent.
I regret it. Look at what I did. Dude, my group chat is always sending me like all this retarded low IQ stuff. And they're like, thanks. Like, thanks for doing this. I'm like, yeah, don't mention
10,000 B
it.
cent $20. Buzz, hey man, come outside.
Thanks.
BCTLS sent $21. Hi Nick. Hope you're having a good day. Did you see the Fuentes stick shift edit I posted on TikTok?
No, but I'll check that out.
Dr. MC Spankus sent $20. Candace has to be blushing watching you crush every single one of your enemies like a bug. Ancestral reproductive drive. Aura.
Well, she made a promotional video for her merch with that clip. Don't play with my heart. Candace, don't play with my heart if you don't mean it, please. You're gonna kill me. You're literally going to kill me. I'll die. Just stop playing with me. Candace Owens. Candace fucking Owens. Here I thought she hates me. She totally fucking hates my guts. She can't stand the sight of me. We were never good together. But then I do this clip, right? Where I say she's like Django Unchained. She watches a clip on her show. She couldn't be happier. I know her. She's grinning. She loves the clip. Then she makes a shirt off the clip and uses my voice in the promo. Stop playing. Be still, my fragile heart. Why are you doing this to me? Yeah. Candace Owens. Of all the super chats and live streams in the world, and you walked into mine. Son of a
Alder
bitch.
James sent $50. Well, late last year you said you had info/heard they were going to throw everything at you to discredit you and ruin you in 2026. This is it, folks. Hold the line. Fuck these faggots.
I just sensed first of all, I did get information. Somebody tipped me off and said they're going to just blow you out of the water in 26. I said, oh, great. But also I just sensed it. Like, I'm just like tapped in like that. I'm just tapped in like that. I skate on the paradigm. I just know. I'm clairvoyant like this. I just know these things. I sense them. I've been around long enough. I'm like LLM. I just know the next thing that's going to happen. So yeah, it's true. And it's here. And it's arrived. The storm is
Pickled
here.
Beats sent $20. Candy has new merch. Candace Unchained shirts. The love is real.
Dude, I saw it. It's crazy. It's totally, yeah. It's
Snafu Zoomer sent $100. Watch the throne.
Thank you for the big super chat. True, dude. It's real. They're always coming for
6
the
or 7
throne.
mil sent $100. If Dr. Amy can save lives, she can save Ohio. Dr. Amy Anton for governor of Ohio.
I
Saluting
love
face
that.
emoji.
That's so true. That's so true. She's a healer. She's going to heal our state. Thank you for the big super chat. You're right.
Anti-Abraham Goer % $20. Our ancestors are pagan. You don't see the mass conversion to monotheism and the God of Israel as the start of the subversion?
No, I don't.
Mean Skull sent $50. My fiance and I went to Catholic Mass for the first time this past Sunday and are staring Osea this fall. All thanks to you, Nick. We love you, big guy.
Love it. Love to hear that. Congratulations to you and your fiance.
Pumpkin Master
Amazing.
69 sent $100. Christ is king. Pagans piss me off, Nick. Too many pagan grow-appers. I'm praying for them. First time super chat. Been watching you for 3 years and the movement has changed my life in a lot of ways. Love what you're doing for Gen Z and America. Keep up the great work and don't give up. Love
Thank
you,
you
man.
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll never give up, I suppose. But The pagans? Are there a lot of pagans now? I don't see that. I just see all Christians, but that's okay.
Basil Al-Assad sent $25. This is about the Jews. Do you think the goblins in the Harry Potter series bank represent Jews due to their characteristics?
Dude, Harry Potter.
Don in the Bilzerian sent $100. Hello, Nicholas. I want to play a game. The Strait of Hormuz will close forever, leading to inflated oil prices and subsequent global depression. To prevent this catastrophe, all you have to do is gain carnal knowledge of Laura Loomer and use what you learn to keep Iran in check. You have until midnight.
Oh, it's a bonus. Oh, you mean I get to open up the strait and I get carnal knowledge of Laura Loomer? Well, I'm sorry, what's the catch? Where's the downside? What, are you kidding me? Dude, Laura Loomer, she's another one. What is with me and all these? What is with me and my ladies? Me and Laura Loomer, we never made it to the 4 seasons, did we? Never made it to the 4 seasons. She's the one that got away. It's like that song, Summer After High School When We First Met. Yeah, she's the one that got away. Oh, Laura Loomer. And they're like fire and ice to me. Laura Loomer's like the ice queen. Candace Owens is fire and desire, Rick James, fire and desire. So hard to choose, and to be in politics. Yeah, no, so why not both?
PB
Let's go
Code
all
sent
in.
$200. Fist emoji.
Oh, yeah, bro fist. Thank you for the big super chat.
Diversity Stole My Bike sent $333.
Yo, thanks for another big super chat. 07's in the chat for Diversity Stole My Bike. Paste.
Fisherman 26 sent
LOL.
$20. Can we be serious and stop with the pro-actin accounts, edits, comments that depict her as the based racist and Nazi?
No.
She already is / will be attacked for it. Wear the skin suit and actually support her.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's not do that. You're right. Let's actually not. It is hilarious, but let's not do
Yay,
that.
West Enjoyer 702 sent $20. Scene 4 Tucker edits on different accounts with the same top comments saying something along the lines of Tucker 28 pinned.
And watch, if he runs, they're just going to roll it into JD Vance 28.
Barbecue Grow Hyper sent $20. I know everyone wanted to say this after the interview but couldn't because of peace. That nigga Jake hella retarded.
Yeah, he has to know.
L. Ron Buff sent $25. Squeeze Dan Bilzerian into oil and use it to lubricate train parts.
Well,
Buckshot Haunted Mound
I
sent
won't go that
$20.
far.
What would you think of just starting the stream when you're ready to go live?
I sort of do that.
Tanya Williams sent $200. We love you. Missing the whiteboard, but we believe in you. Normal people.
But, well, hey, thanks for the big super chat, Tanya. Tanya, thank you very much. I love you too. Thanks a lot.
Stoner sent $100. Have you seen The Devil Wears Prada 2?
Not yet, but I need to. Thank you. I love Devil Wears Prada 1 is just classic. Love that movie. So yeah, I've been dying to see the second one.
Django wants a playa. Red heart emoji. Sent $20.
Thanks.
Mr. Person sent $35. Didn't like how BPL such as Tristan Tate among others treated the attack on you. Like Bilzerian has any leg to stand on.
It is what it is. He attacked me first. People are treating it like it's we're bickering. It's like you summoned the retards of the round table to attack me, and I defended myself. And people go, well, I don't want to pick a side. It's like, okay, but you know what? I get it. Like, I'm friends with them. He's friends with them. It is what it is. So
Trenbolone acetate slam sent $100. It's crazy how many still doubt the Groiper curse.
Right? Dude, talk about posting your L's. Bro's like in the hospital after he lost, takes a picture. That's so narcissistic. Who does that? You're in the hospital, you take a selfie. Look at me, I'm a bitch. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I prefer people that weren't hospitalized, okay? I prefer candidates that aren't in the hospital. It's just sad.
Lawrence of Dearborn sent $50.
Thanks.
Weiner Gang 28 sent $28. Hey Nick, I've been emailing back and forth with Anthony Weiner about running as a Republican in 2028. Possible dark horse?
That's a great idea.
Malo Baby sent $20. They really crawl out from under rocks and try skin suiting the movement.
Literally crawling out from wherever. Where do they find these people even?
Raper Groiper sent $20.
They're
We
scum.
live in African American hell and Ebonic plague throughout the world.
Yeah.
Patriot Now and Forever sent $20. Fuck all the ops. It's up and that's
It's
on Groiper.
up. It's up. It's up.
Canuck sent $100. Here's the inside baseball on Bilzerian. Not only is he lying about getting rich off poker, he's down millions. No, he's never been a pro. He's the biggest mark at the table. His fortune comes from daddy. He uses high-stakes poker to launder that money since results are undocumented and self-reported.
I believe it. Thank you for the big super chat.
Patriot
I
Now and
believe
Forever
it.
sent $20. I heard you are now the first victim of the AF deplorables curse. Praying for you, King. Folded hands emoji.
That guy's hilarious. It is funny.
GDXJ sent $20. Mr. Funeets, you're not in the burger business. You're in the business to balkanize the political tents of America.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the kind of insight that I need, like from that movie. From the founder.
Booby Groip sent $30. Shout out Groiper Greg. Nigga going hard as fuck for the movement. Fuck Offu and fuck Dan.
Yeah, W.
The Druish question sent $100. Send super chats too.
Hey, thank you for the big super chat. You're being funny. Well, the link isn't going to work because it doesn't do links, but I appreciate it.
Chevrolet Groy percent $500.
Yo!
Sean Strickland is a patriot.
Thank you for the massive super chat. 07's in the chat. Yeah, and he won. Congratulations, Sean Strickland, on your victory over the Muslim horde. The Mohammedan horde. I appreciate it. Thank you for the huge super chat. And W, Sean
I
Strickland.
like I'm a little retarded sent $100. Fuck these disloyal clown face emoji. Your idea of voting Dems is genius.
I know.
At this point, anyone who doesn't understand is either retarded or a saboteur. Either way, good riddance to both. USA emoji.
Thank
USA
you very
emoji,
much.
USA
Appreciate
emoji.
the big super chat. It
Roy
is
percent
genius.
sent $30.
Thanks.
Paid chat 72974 sent $50. What are the chances the State Department chose today to officially condemn the Great Replacement? Perhaps trying to steal the wind out of the sails when you talk about last week's Matrix attack.
I don't know if that's coordinated, but look, they're definitely trying to get everybody back on board with that kind of thing. How do we get the right-wing chuds? Let's make some vague appeal to, right-wing whatever, politics on Twitter. That's what that is.
Devolution sent
That's all that
$25.
is.
Standing by NNH. Loyalty.
Hell yeah, we're going to need you. Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Nevada will need you.
RRR sent $20. I'm vindicated on the Dusha love. Can't believe you didn't find a way to smell her hair.
She watches the show. She watches the show. So if I did it, she'd know it. She's going to see it coming a mile away. Gotta smell the hair. Next time I'm going to smell the hair. No, I can't. Now I can't. Now I definitely can't. Yeah. We love Dasha. Dasha's been giving me a lot of love. I appreciate it. Dasha and Anna. Anna said something nice. I like them both. I think they're very nice girls. Didn't get to smell the hair. I love smelling the hair. You know I like to smell hair. People said that's weird. Is that weird? Is it weird? I don't think that's weird. I think that's normal. And you're just trying to be what? What are you trying to be? Sound normal? Everybody loves to smell hair. That's just what we do. We're human beings, okay? We like that shit. We like to smell her hair. It's not controversial. It's not weird. You're not a freak or a pervert. You know what the difference is? If he's a 6'5" Chad, oh, that's adorable. Oh, that's so sexy. If he's some 5'9" pussy, ew, why does he want to smell my hair? What a freak. Yeah, I know. I know how that works. It's fine. I get it. I'm over it. We'll find a way.
$20.
We'll get
Throw the
there.
beard back.
I will
Gesture
get
emoji.
there. And I will get there. I will smell the hair. I will get there.
CJ409 sent $100. You're a bitch made punk. That's all.
So they say. Thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate it.
Cyborg Assassin sent $20. Did you see Orville's 30-minute rant against you? Love the show.
Why would I? Who would want to watch that? Guy's an idiot.
Bazillion Thoughts sent $20. Can you cash app me 10K? Donated to a political campaign. Happy Monday, King.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. Thanks a lot. I told Basil, I'm like, it's always somebody. Whenever I'm in the middle of a fucking battle, it's always like somebody that can be associated with me who puts out a bait tweet that everybody takes unironically and uses against me. Basil tweets, I just donated 10 grand to Randy Fine. Immediately picked up. Immediately they picked it up and said, look, this Groiper just... It's always somebody. Congratulations. This time it was you. No, but that's okay. It was funny. You know what? I'm glad you find it funny. Glad you see the funny side. That's great. No, but I'm teasing. It was objectively funny. At my expense, okay, fine. But I do appreciate all the support. The Basilians have been defending me. Basilians are not Groipers. Groipers are not Basilians, but they have been the Basilians, the Apollonians. It's like Game of Thrones out here. It's like all the armies coming together. You know, will you defend Ned? You took a vow to defend Ned Stark. It's like that, you know? So I appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the support. The GOAT of media market literacy.
Waffle sent $20.
Appreciate it. Happy
recognizers.
Monday.
Waffle sent $20. The
Happy
people attacking
Monday.
you call themselves pattern recognizers. Nose emoji, beverage box emoji, yet can't recognize the pattern that you're always right. Rolling eyes face emoji.
Dude, they're always behind. It's like I'm right about something, they doubt me, I get proven right. I'm right about something, they doubt me, I get proven right. When do you just stop doubting me? Can we get there eventually?
Saint Saxon sent $20. When Adam King 1v2 Dan Bilzerian and Jake Shields, I knew immediately that Dan was too retarded to be associated with the America First movement. No room for triple citizens in America. RKD4 and JF.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but they got raped. It was brutal. Adam King debates Jake Shields, and Jake Shields got, like, just fucking destroyed. So he had to tag Dan in, and then Dan got destroyed too. It's like, okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing?
Candace sent $25. Zarbama mentioned you in his song Things I Would Do to Impress You. He says that you have a homosexual past.
That's the song? Those are the lyrics? Well, I don't know who that is. Is it a good song at least? Let's see. Things to do. Let's see. Oh, that's the lyrics. I tell the RNC that LGBT in Israel is bad. They nail me to their cross. I tell the Groypers Nick Fuentes had a homosexual past. They tear my limbs right off. That's kind of funny. Oh, the things I would do to impress you. What does that have to do with impressing anybody? By the way, I will make her notice me. The things I would do to... Why are you saying that to a girl to impress her? Dude, people are just talking shit like crazy. It's unbelievable. That's kind of funny, though.
Dunk Misty sent $20.
That's kind
Jake
of a
Shields
funny
is the
rhyme.
living, breathing embodiment of Beavis and Butthead. 2 brain cells sharing 1 skull, both named haha.
That's good. Very true.
XRB14 sent $20. $500,000 of silent Groyers on standby. We're watching. We're waiting. We support you.
The GOAT. Appreciate it.
Finine sent $20. Thoughts on the Scientology building raids?
They're funny, but it's not... I don't think that's a good idea. You know... The problem with that is everybody thinks it's really hilarious, and then people start going to jail. I think about like that guy. There was like that prank TikToker, and he would go into Best Buy or Target wearing the uniform, and it was really funny. And now he's facing like 30 years in prison because every store that he did that to, they all like press charges against him. He's literally facing like 20, 30 years in prison. So I feel like that's not a good idea. All that stuff seems really funny, and it kind of is. But it always ends the same way, which is somebody gets hurt, somebody goes to jail. You just don't want to be the last one. So it is funny, but not a good idea.
Just shedding dead weight. Better off without them. Lane is law in the Big 26. Playing both sides is just too much for him. Deuces.
Real.
M. Hoplite sent $200.
Thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate it. Hoplite the GOAT, my man.
Rave Don's Baboon Butt sent $20.
Thanks.
John Dave Irving sent $4,999. Trying to get my dollar amount per super chat up. Please disregard.
Really? Yeah, let's just not even go there, okay? What are we doing here? Just between me and John Dave Irving, I don't want to get into it, but like, that's crazy. Thanks, I guess.
Catholic.Groy Pat sent $20. Would you ever date a taller woman? Sincerely, a 5 feet 10 inches Aryan Catholic.
Okay, well, you're not that much taller than me, okay? Maybe I would do it for the sake of my kids. Yeah, I might. That doesn't turn me off. I'll just wear bigger shoes, okay? You can't wear heels. Maybe. I don't know, but the whole like, oh, I'm a 5'10" Aryan Catholic Groypat, it's like, what are we? Sure. Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, why not, right? But yeah.
Zinguy1775 sent $20. The guy with a sex addiction, his dad who went to jail for fraud, and plays it off that he's not trust fund baby with that fraud money. Yet you're a Fed, because you don't agree 100% with Dan. Fuck him.
Yeah, well, and at that point, that's just something people say. You don't even know what that means. You don't even believe that. What you're saying is, I don't like this guy. Fuck this guy. So you just say, and that's really shitty. You should be honest. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. You can think I'm whatever. You can think I'm anything you want to think I am. But be honest. Be honest about what you... This whole, he doesn't agree with me. I don't know why he's doing what he does. I was about to say the N-word. I explained it to you 2 days ago. He texted me about Casey Push on like Tuesday. He said, why didn't you support him? I told you. I explained it to you. And then he drops the tweet. It's like, well, you didn't like the explanation. But it's not like I was evasive. It's not like I was suspicious and I was like, oh, I don't know. It's like I literally told him, I said, look, I could not help this man. Casey Push was never going to win. Even if I went into the race, all they're going to do is say that's a Groyper loss. I said, we need to go into win. Explanation he didn't like. So then he goes, well, I just don't understand. He's a fad. You know, that's bullshit. And that's not honest, and you should be honest.
FCR 1169 sent $20. Red pilled in October 2024 off of a clip from Aiden Ross's stream. I listened and didn't vote for Trump. Thank you. We love you.
Love it. Thanks, man. Aiden Ross. I haven't heard from him. What happened? That's my
Base
guy,
Bro
I
sent
thought.
$20. Hey, Nick, fellow noticer here.
Whoops.
Do you think Dan Bilzerian is a psyop from the Jew? Thanks.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but who knows? I think he's just dumb.
6 or 7
but
no
he
sent
might be.
$100. Nick, you are the third reason. You're definitely one of the most important reasons why we're able to talk about the corruption that's been going on for at least 3 decades.
I'd like to think so, but I appreciate the big super
St. Louis
chat.
Groiper sent $25. First super chat. Have caught every show since Charlie Kirk. 2026 is the year of the Ascendant Groiper. Lock in. We will
Oh
win.
yeah, dude, we have so many super chats still to read. Damn, bro.
Yosef 1776 sent $50. Jake Shields retarded, disgusting goy face. On her period again? Literally a woman.
He's honestly, it's just like get the fuck out of here. Like, you're ugly, you're dumb. Like, I just don't want to see you. You know, you're just like an ugly retard. Like, pass. Thank you. No, thank you. You know, and it's just like the endless bullshitting on Twitter. Dude, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Go get punched in the face more. Go do another podcast in your fucking dining room. You know, it's totally... Who has time for that? Like, can we just get serious? Like, honestly, he's wearing his, like, snapback. Dude, like, you're a joke. You're a joke.
Misha Groiper sent $50. Never let the normies know your next move. No time to explain to the proles.
Straight up.
Aperman G sent $100. Never contend with a man who has nothing to lose. Balthus or Gracione.
Very true.
Anti-Semitic
Thank you.
sent $25. Tyler Oliveira is a G shame about Dan. I liked him against my judgment, and Jake Shields really needs to get that CTERKD for NJF.
It's just, you know, it's a joke.
JD Vance's gaped pussy hole sent $20. There is...
Okay, we can't be reading that.
Red
That's
Pilled
gross.
yesterday sent $100. Right again. This time on the coordinated attack, prior to being told about it. Always right. You're leading this movement in spite of the detractors.
True, thank
Brandon
you.
G sent $20. They're jealous because you're the king and you don't even lift weights. Which, by the way, appears to cause brain damage.
Apparently, seems to be a relationship there.
Anti-Semitic Cat sent $20. And fuck that Albanian bimbo too. Albanians aren't people.
Who's Albanian?
Bob Tylog sent $20. What are your thoughts on Aaron Baker? I heard you and him had a nice conversation. What did you speak about?
We did. We talked about the race.
Poop Smithies sent...
And we'll talk more.
Poop Smithies sent $20. Let's not forget that Amy Dangerfield was sponsored by Enhanced Games, the deal in 1789 capital thing on her YouTube channel.
Is that true? Because, you know, they made a last-minute trip to New York after their conference in Ohio with their friend Joan, who is now pro Palantir. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Yeah, so tell me more about the Fishback alum Joan from D.C., who was at the Ohio America First United event promoting Palantir there. And after the conference, Amy and her husband made a last-minute trip to New York, and Joan is promoting Alex Karp on Twitter. What do we make of that? And she was sponsored by Enhanced Games, apparently. What do we make of that? What is that? What's going on there? And apparently Dan has no campaign other than them. They showed up with him yesterday. They're in the district, and that's the crew. Sort of interesting, isn't it? Very interesting.
UEC5 sent $20. Rape Dan Bilzerian. Luxembourgish Groiper sent $20. This failed event calls for a pack 5.
Perhaps.
Armo Groiper sent $20. They tug you in two directions to find the weak point with no bend. Dan's dad pulled Jewish moves to get rich. Armenian. Thomas James 7 sent $20. Dan was always an embarrassing moron.
True.
Accidental Race Mixer sent $50.
Thank
Kyle
you.
Lewis 737 sent $20. Dan is a citizen of Kitts and Nevis along with Armenia. His old man is a financial operator. Is City of London backing the likes of him as their preferred option as you get censored?
I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it is true. He's in that financial safe harbor, Kitts and Nevis, that's a kind of a red flag.
Bazillion Thoughts sent $20. Had to send you another one cause you fucking ate those retards up.
Hey,
Bestie, fiery emoji.
Thanks. Appreciate it. The GOAT. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like the show. Appreciate the moral support.
Dylan's Mind sent $20. They wrote it in crayon. They wrote it in magic marker. The goyim are in abundance. Fantastic show, brother. Keep it up.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Sleepless Groiper sent $50. I started watching just before the first Groiper war, and now your show keeps me company while I'm up at night with a baby. Thank you for persisting through so much adversity over the years.
Thanks. Wow, that's crazy. You started watching in 2019, now you're watching with the baby? I'm old, bruh. I'm getting
Taylor
old.
Mania and I've sent $20.
Thank you.
Tonight, the night Nick cleared out the low IQ anti-Semites will be known as the night of the long Nicks.
Okay.
Infamous
We'll
Nutsack sent
workshop
$107. I saw today on Bullshit. Aaron Baker just passed Dan Bilzerian on odds to win. He was on an interview today saying he tried to get a hold of your team, but wasn't able to make contact or hear back. Dumb people are making rumors that you endorsed. Find how you'd like us to vote. Baker? Fine. Bilzerian?
Okay, so I called him today. Relax, okay, buddy? I said last night I'd like to get in touch. I talked to him this evening. And people go, I heard he tried to get in touch, but he wasn't able to get in touch. Dude, I said last night I'd like to get... Relax. That's one. And two, I said I'm looking at him as a good candidate. So it's all there. It's all there. Thank you, though. Relax.
Pleading sent $20. Holy F Nick, amazing monologue tonight.
Thanks.
Really went in on Dan. Separated yourself from the rest. They got no motion.
They got nothing, man. They got nothing.
Gumble2Gumble sent $20. It was suggested that you have a defense fund for grow-wipers who lose their jobs or are otherwise persecuted for supporting you. You shit on the idea while hawking your merch that will get them fired.
Yeah, it's a dumb idea. All that is just like, look, this whole GoFundMe thing is a grift. These people go out in public, they act like fucking idiots, they get canceled, and then they go, yeah, give me money, give me money. Exercise a little self-control, okay? If you're taking my advice, that's not happening to you. So I tell people about the merch, use your discretion. Don't be an idiot. It's not welfare for that. That's just stupid.
Deputy Chief Groy sent $20. Top 5 monologue tonight.
Thank you.
Serpent sent $20. The problem wasn't deindustrialization. It was the loss of productive roles. Manufacturing alone isn't productivity.
Okay.
Viticated AF sent
Please.
$100. Great fucking show.
Thank you for the big super chat.
Beardson
Glad
sent
you liked
$100.
it.
Dan
Yo!
Bilzerian makes Patrick Little look like Tucker Carlson.
Right.
Time is a flat circle. Thanks for always bearing the burden for us. Love you, buddy.
Beardson, dude, I love you, bro. Beardson's been around forever. I've known Beardson for 9 years. Can you believe that? I've known Beardson Beardley for 9 years, and this guy has never betrayed me. Never talked shit about me. He's never said a bad word about me. He's probably the most loyal best friend I've had. And I don't want to say that because I have a lot of good friends, but, you got to find a guy like Beardson because this guy's like loyal to the finish. He's a great guy. Heart of gold. And he takes a lot of shit, and he takes it in stride. That's a good man. He gets a lot of abuse. People attack him a lot, and he's funny. He's got a huge following on Twitter. He's still funny to this day. A lot of people burn out. They have one funny bit, then it's over. He's still funny. He's got that profile picture still gets me, man. So he's a good dude. 07's to you, Beardson. You're the man. We gotta hang out or something, man. But it is, right? I mean, you're old enough to remember the whole Patrick Little, Paul Nealon debacle. This has literally all happened before. What if I told you that 8 years ago, this exact same thing happened? I wouldn't endorse some like psycho anti-Jew primary candidate who had no chance of winning, so he crashed out on me, pretended to be a Marine, but wasn't really. That happened 8 years ago. It already happened. And everybody dogged on me saying I hated the troops and I don't want to do anything. And it all happened 8 years ago with Paul Nealon and Patrick Little. And now it's happening again. So yeah, it's true. Truly, it never ends.
Jumanji Kitterson sent $20. Don't let tactically broadcast cortisol strikes ruin your carefully crafted hunter eyes and ecumenically hollowed cheeks.
I'm trying to hang in there. I don't really have, I sort of have a negative canthal tilt. The cortisol will not stop the ascension. No cortisol. Only mogging. So no, we're not going to let it stop the ascension. Nothing stops the ascension. Lean is the law. Still the law, even when we're under attack. Okay, no fatties, no pigs.
Fentanyl is good for you sent $100. When you were on time for the show, I had a feeling you cooked. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I just had to go
Alex
off.
Pacheco sent $50. AF bikinis for summer? This is what the girls really want.
Since when do we care about what the girls
Hero
want?
River sent
Give me a
$20.
break.
Ian Carroll suddenly...
AF bikinis? Are you totally
Hero River
insane?
sent $20. Ian Carroll suddenly came back to Twitter just to bash you. Lol, what a fucking weirdo. He seems to have had a vendetta against you ever since the Kirk stuff went down. Reposts and responds to all hate.
It's like I said, man. It's all these... Right? Because I didn't even realize that. I was like, wait a second. I haven't heard from this guy in a long time. All of a sudden, there he is. That's crazy. The activation word went out. He's another knucklehead. Yeah, he's got some axe to grind with me. Who cares? Deliver my fucking pizza, bitch.
The White Recon sent...
Bring me my Dominoes. Dominoes, bring it forth. Bring me, cheese it up. Would you like to cheese it up for $5 extra? Bring it forth. Bring it forth. Pan pizza, extra cheese. Ian Carroll, bring it forth. So yeah.
The White Rican sent
whatever.
$25. W monologue.
Thanks.
The Bull Moose sent $20. All this ankle biting, gossiping, and attempted reputation destruction is so feminine.
It is. It's crazy. It's like, you want to criticize me? Okay, criticize. Write a thoughtful article. Try that. I do it all the time. Write a nice article, make your case. But no, it's just like this, like, burn book, gossip.
Lex Luthor sent $100.
stuff.
Hey Top G, I'm glad these retarded losers have distinguished themselves from you. Can we never talk about them again now? You've wasted too much breath already. Also, how many people are in the $100/month
Then
club?
don't watch it. Then don't watch it. Thank you for the big super chat. Don't watch it. Can we never? Who's we? Who's we? What's we? This is my show. Can we never? We got to embrace the dark triad. That's what I realized. Some girl made this edit, the dark triad. I said, leave it to the Machiavellians. Leave it to the narcissists. It literally is dark triad. Keith Woods once called me dark triad. That hurt a little. Keith Woods once told me my group chat is a den of dark triad vipers. I said, thank you for the compliment. Maybe we need a little dark triad. You want to win? Maybe you need a little bit of that. Okay? So I did like that. I did like that edit. It sort of inspired me. I found it inspiring. Anyway, I don't know what made me think of that. But
Meeplemore sent $20. Funny part is Dan didn't know about Putsch until he already lost.
Right.
Also, thoughts on Tyler Oliveira?
Yeah.
He seems cool.
he goes, you're a Fed because you didn't endorse Casey Push. And people go, why didn't you support Casey Push? He goes, I didn't know about it until yesterday. And people go, really? He goes, yeah, why would I give a fuck about this race? Okay, so what's the problem then? So you are crashing out on me over a race that you don't even care about. You launched a full frontal attack on me over a race that you don't care about and didn't even know was going on until last week. Make it make sense. This is what I have to deal with. This is what it's like.
Elon Musk sent $20. Always on point with the political commentary. Thank you for the show. I totally understand that people are exhausted with talking about war after Gaza, but can you please add some analysis on Lebanon?
No.
Fuck JD Vance's anus sent $20. Everyone watching the stream go defend.
Okay, why are we
Bro
doing
Arbitrator
that?
sent $50. Why continue to cite the Jewish media as legitimate sources despite them publish all this bullshit about you?
Oh, you're sorry. Watch something else. This show isn't for you.
Militant Groy.
Why cite Jewish media where all the publish all this bullshit about you?
Militant Groy sent $20.
Okay, go
These people are too
somewhere else.
unoptical and low IQ. Not methodical or strategic. They will never replace you. You win. They lose. Open Door 1235 sent
We'll
$20.
see.
I'd still crack. It if it's a skin suit. It's called taking the boner pill.
I don't know what
The White Rican
that
sent
is referring
$20.
to.
Dan is a hobbit.
Yeah, little
Canadian
guy.
Groy sent $20. America first. Christ is king.
Hell
Tenrio sent
yeah,
$1,000.
true.
110
Yo,
from Tenrio.
what?
I only
That's
believe in your
crazy.
vision. Always have. Loyal until the very end.
Wow, Tenrio, you shouldn't have. I mean, I appreciate the huge super chat. Dude, Tenrio's another GOAT. Loyal until the end. My man. We love Tenrio. Thank you so much. This is a good guy here. This is another good dude. Another one who's been totally loyal since the beginning, through thick and thin. He's had my back. This is a good guy. Appreciate it. Thank you for the massive super chat. You really didn't need to do that, honestly. But I do appreciate it, man. God bless you. 07's to the man, the myth, the GOAT.
Truth Seeker sent $20. Did you know Peter Thiel's name is an anagram for the reptile? Do you think this could be a sign?
Yeah, his parents were in
Last
on
Base
it when
Sweet 2
they
sent
named him
$20.
that.
Rewatched the Crowder vid calling you out for voting Dem. In the vid he said you were a speaker at America First United with the Doc Size Girl. Bro is really out for lunch.
He's probably just misinformed. I'm not going to hold that against him. He probably just didn't know.
Crash Out Pepe sent $20. Nick, that bit with the crayons and magic markers jumping in the funhouse was comedic gold. Had me dying. Love the show. All these haters online are absolute clowns. Don't let this nonsense get to you.
Thanks. Glad you liked it. I'm not. I mean,
Asavoski sent $20. Absolutely incredible show. L. Dan Bilzerian. I aced my college finals in MOMW to ascend to a better college. USA
good.
MLD.
Love it. Good for you.
Martine sent $20. Love from St. Louis.
Hey, shout out.
MRJPC sent $100. Exquisite delivery tonight.
Thank you. Exquisite, huh?
Slay
Thank you.
3R8888 sent $50.
Elegant.
Banger show.
Thanks.
Larry Ellison sent $20. Carol suddenly came back to Twitter just to bash you. Seems to have
Right?
been dead against ever since Kirk stuff happened.
Dude, that guy sucks so hard. He's such a douche. It's crazy. Are you getting it yet? Really makes it think. You don't really believe the official narrative. Me when I'm really intelligent, me when I'm an off-the-charts genius. You don't really believe the official narrative, do you? No, you're right. Oh my gosh, you're the smartest person I've ever met. Dude, these people, they're not people. Like, they're just not.
Cloud Strip sent $20. PSGRN here. Still waiting on my welcome packet. They tag muted me for 99 days for asking for one while everyone else gets one. Southern Hospitality undefeated.
Huh?
Shout out Fish Groiper.
I don't know what that
Nick,
is.
hand with index finger and thumb crossed emoji, sent $50. Hand with index
Thanks.
finger and thumb crossed emoji.
Was that like one of these? Should I do that for the thumbnail? I gotta look like I'm mogging when I do it though. One of these little finger heart.
Dusomnia sent $20.
There you
Index
go.
Red sent $20. Event was lame but Joel Webben crushed it. Any chance for more collabs with him? America First is inevitable.
Sure, yeah, I love him. He's great. He was the highlight. He's a star.
At a non-4728168 sent $20. Thoughts on New Mexican maximalism? West Texas, Southern Colorado, and Eastern Arizona will all be Greater New Mexico by 2035.
Okay, let's just cut the LARP. Duh, Greater New Mexico?
Rayancan 19 sent $20.
Stop.
Thank God for the schism. As everyone niches down, I hope you achieve your goal of only retaining the genius, Machiavellian, successful, charismatic, rich, handsome, and sophisticated following.
If I'm going to lose this movement, it's going to be to somebody more Machiavellian, smarter, more charismatic than me, and I will thank him. You know, I will thank him for freeing me. But it's not going to be some, meathead gorilla. As much as I wish this chalice could pass from my hand, for now it's mine. As much as it's difficult. But when the movement gets taken over, it'll be by the true master, the true genius. And it'll be somewhat gracious and with admiration. It won't be some meathead white nigger who's going to say, I'm the leader now. Like, no, it doesn't work like that, buddy.
The Med Grow
Never gonna
iPad sent
happen.
$20. Proud Groiper heading to med school. My friend and I wear wank Ds on campus and have met 10 plus high IQ Grow Ibers.
Love it, dude.
Retard
Yes,
Groiper sent
it's
$20.
happening.
The Goyim will not stand a chance without the spoon-fed Nick play-by-play.
True.
Stay-at-home Mog sent $20. Picking and choosing battles is basic game theory, but new pillars still won't get it. Impulsive and retarded with fried dopamine receptors.
Real.
Jet213
They're just
sent
dumb.
$20. Strickland beats the Chechen whore. Let's go. Sneeko called him racist on Twitter pre-fight even though 4/5 of his coaches aren't white. Oh Sneeko. Liberal. Smiley face emoji. We love Sneeko. Smiley face emoji.
Liberal. La la la. Fentanyl overdoses. Human animal hybrids. Cloning. Yeah. Yeah, no. Okay, is that too far? Yeah, dude, that was a miss. That was a certified miss. And we love Sneeko, but he's like, Strickland's going to lose. He's racist, blah, blah, blah. Little liberal.
Rayancan 19 sent $20. I miss when it was just Muslims and moral genius scholars that were Israel critical. Listening to the low IQ anti-Semites is like when the meth heads in jail ramble about Freemasons and Anunnaki.
Yeah, very true.
Oof Zero Hunter sent $20. Always look forward to your show. God bless homie.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
One Hoop One
it.
sent $20. Jake Shields gives CTE a bad rap.
Does he? I
McHammer-
think he's kind of just like the poster child. They should put him in the commercial for just $2. For just $2 a day, we can research this. We can get to the bottom of it. It's like, what is my money going towards? What is this program buying? And you see he's like coloring in a coloring book. He's reviewing flashcards. He's playing baseball. It's like you could still have a life.
Dan B folds the nuts sent $20. No, but seriously, this beef kinda shows how minuscule and pointless the Sneeko beef is. He isn't all too bad.
Sneeko's not all that bad, huh? And vice versa. Sneeko's getting punched in the face, getting hacked on Twitter. Hey, Groipers aren't so bad now, huh? He's getting heckled in the street. People are punching him in the face, getting hacked and selling some shitcoin. So it goes both ways. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of shit. He's getting a lot of shit. We just gotta bring it back. Let's run it back. Snigga, my man. He's a good dude.
Line Dancing Nick sent $20. Does Jake Shields like the ball pit and did he piss himself in the ball pit?
Okay.
D-Week Farm
come
sent
on.
$20. Great show. W Nick.
Thanks. Thank
John
you.
Dave Irving sent $590. 5 feet 9 inches isn't little. 5 feet 9 inches is literally the average height. Google it. Hitler was 5 feet 9 inches, you retard. Leak of Nick's text to Mark Levin.
Thank you. Appreciate it, John. Thanks a lot.
Dark Goys.
Good to hear from you, by the way.
The Dark Goy sent $20. If this America First movement belongs to the American people, why does one person get to decide who's real and who's not?
think you said that
She at
already.
213 sent $20. Who's that chopped bitch in the Dan the LV shooter savior and CTE Jake faction? Jake and her say you speak too fast and so does Shapiro, so that means you must be a Fed, they say. Tremendous logic. Smiling face emoji.
It's a little... Gotta slow it down
Reality
for them.
person sent $20. Officer, please gimme gun. I'm the strongest and biggest street tough around.
Dude,
LOL.
that's crazy.
Thanks for the
Give me
show.
a gun. Give me a gun. Let me
Horseshoe
get in
Theory
there.
Optimist sent $25. You never do anything as he prepares to mass mobilize his followers against Viva
Right?
Ramaswamy in Ohio. Door knock for Amy.
Yeah,
Line
it's
dancing
crazy.
Nick sent $100. Okay, serious post. Pretty sure Jake Shields and Dan Bilzerian have been paid off by someone. Seems too big of a coincidence that you're being attacked from both sides in the last 2 weeks.
Who knows? We could speculate. Who knows?
Florida Gripper sent $20. What do you think of Faith Merrill? Do you see anything happening? She is saying she will have your baby.
I don't think anyone said that, but
Patriot now and for
look, I don't know her. I've never talked to
Patriot now and forever sent $20. It's my birthday. Thank you for giving me such an amazing show tonight. Fuck all the haters. RKD4NJF.
her. Hey, happy birthday. Hope it's a good one. Glad you get to watch this show. I
DDM
guess.
sent $20.
Happy birthday.
A black supremacist asserted that you dressed up as your would-be assassin and that Leonardo bitch believed him. So retarded.
That's crazy. Yeah.
400.
The guy died. Like, he killed 3
412 Frank sent
people.
$20. Sending love from Pittsburgh. AF is an IQ filter.
True.
She-
Also, I was doing the show. How could I fake my own assassination attempt? I was live when it
She at
happened.
213 sent $100. Dan, Jake, Hodgett twins, Owen, and Pizza Boy throwing shade.
Yeah.
It's okay, Myra.
Wait, Owen was too?
She at 213 sent $100. Dan, Jake, Hodgett twins, Owen, and Pizza Boy throwing shade. It's okay, Myron, the Wilsons, and Sweet Candace are not joining in. Happy you guys are so loyal to each other. Smiling face with hearts emoji. Smiling face with hearts emoji. Love you, goat. Red heart emoji.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the Wilsons kind of coming out to bat for me. Myron is not really taking a side as always, which is whatever. Candace hasn't weighed in. Did Owen say something? I didn't see. I saw the Hodge twins. That's crazy. But I didn't see Owen say anything. But I get it. I took Alex Jones' side, so fair is fair. Yeah, Myron says, well, neither of them are feds. It's like, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank
Emerald
you.
sent $100. My dad was a SEAL.
It's okay. I appreciate
Emerald
that.
sent $100.
but, you
My
know.
dad was a SEAL. Dan was not a SEAL. They're trying to lie plus grift off that honor to buy credibility. Dan passed only initial portion of selection. He never graduated. Never finished the course, never assigned to a unit or deployed. FYI for those not in SF community, it's a huge thing to lie about.
Yeah, stolen valor. It's a huge deal. Do not get the discounts, you fucking piece of garbage. No stolen valor. Thank you for the big super. No, but it's true. His whole life is a
Hold the
lie
line
like
sent
that.
$20. The idea that Dan would throw away his Instagram lifestyle to fight Israel is laughable. Shapiro 11-0 tweets about Dan.
Yeah.
Chief Trumpster sent $21. Glad to see the low IQ and
Oh, Owen Benjamin. Oh, I see. I don't even know who that is. I was talking about Owen Schroyer. That's hilarious. Didn't even register.
Chief Trumpster sent $21. Glad to see the low IQ anti-Semitism void devolve so fast. Did you hear Bilzerian's rally in the wrong district and worst time in the day got cancelled? Great show tonight, Nick. Crowd
No,
emoji.
it got canceled? Dude, no way. Did it get canceled? Who's got the link? Are you kidding me? His rally... Dude. Yeah. Absolute cinema. Okay. Like, that's great. Did it really get canceled? Where's the tweet? Where's the clip? Somebody posted in the chat. That's crazy. No, that's crazy. Are you serious? Where's the link? Somebody have it? Did he have to tweet it? Oh, that's just absolute cinema. Perfect. Down to the last minute detail. Who's got the link? Give me the paintball. Yeah, paintball interference. Dan's X page. Let's see. Oh, here's somebody tag me. No way, dude. That's too good. Yeah, that's too good. Hang on, let me see. Okay, hang on, it's loading. Dude, no way. Unfiltered with Dan Bilzerian, Tuesday, May 12th. Thank you for your interest in Unfiltered. Unfortunately, this event has been canceled. Dude, I want some fucking sevens in the chat. Who's your leader? Who's the fucking leader?